Welcome to Untitled, Unfocused. Tyler, Rayman over there, having a good time.
That's right.
And
Always the best time.
yeah, man, we got some stuff to talk about. Got a jam-packed episode, and
We do be jamming and we do be packing.
we got finishing up Falcon Winter Soldier, bunch of anime to talk about, some manga as well. Some good stuff,
Yeah.
So why don't we start with we always start with Falcon Winter Soldier. Why don't we start with that?
Yeah, let's go. Season finale.
Yeah. So
It was peaking.
what do you think of the finale, Ray?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was nice. A lot of people were saying as well afterwards. So this is just like obviously spoilers. The biggest of spoilers, the finale.
Sure.
Oh.
Right.
That the suit was very the cap suit for Falcon was very comic like. It was pretty much almost identical to the comic version.
Right. Yeah. It was accurate.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool though. I mean, the white was cool.
It looks really good, and of course, at the end of the show, they changed that naming card to Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cause it proved that he finally is Captain America.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Who made you Captain America?" He just made it himself, and that's what makes it better.
Yeah, I did it. We need one.
It's like I love Isaiah. That we're probably gonna be seeing more of him in the MCU, and his family is a great thing. You did text me about it, but yes, U.S. agent being confirmed is great, and working with Zemo now that's some spice right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like what they did with Sharon though, but I don't know where that's going with her character, what they plan on doing with that.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much everything you said, I agree with. Let's see. Yeah, actually the one thing I never thought of that you just brought up was Isaiah Bradley. I didn't really think of him showing up in other stuff, but I guess it would make sense because, he is now kind of out there in the world. I guess people still don't know that he's alive currently, but at least people are, like the public or whatever, because of the statue and the exhibit and stuff. He finally got his like honor, I guess, and then there's the comic stuff for his, I think that's his grandson, right?
Yeah.
Or his nephew.
Like one of the strongest super soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah, so he might become something. Also with the U.S. agent stuff, that woman that was there that we've never seen before. Well, I mean, we've never seen before this show.
You mean from Seinfeld?
Yeah. Yeah, that was somewhere like deja vu. I was like, I know I've seen her from something. She is apparently, well, I guess like her character has been a bunch of different stuff, but the most like hype theory right now, like the matching her comic book character, is that she is like Madam Hydra. So like Hydra's still alive, doing well, and yeah, so she's like evil Nick Fury basically.
Yeah, because they haven't disclosed who she is yet. She just has like a blank card that she just gave him.
Yeah, it was blank on both sides. That was funny. But then yeah, even like her recruiting John Walker to be U.S. agent is like, that's kind of scary, because he's still very unstable, and like U.S. agent isn't necessarily a good guy.
He's more of a middle ground.
Yeah, it's a very gray area.
Yeah, but that's fine though for his character. I think that like Walker's character is pretty much at that point where I'm okay with him being this character. His middle ground, like determined, like a free agent, free will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe not working for the military, but working under her. We don't know who she is right now, but that'll also be determined.
I thought that like overall for the finale, and then I guess like with the show as well, the obvious strongest stuff was the Sam stuff. They really focused in on his character a little more than Bucky, which I was okay with. I still think the arc that he was given was like sufficient for him.
Like Bucky just wants closure, really, or like repent. He wants to repent, really.
And like by the end of it, like he finally did the right thing and told the dad, like, hey, your son was murdered and I murdered him. Like I am the Winter Soldier. Very, very much like mirroring how Sam said that he's Captain America. They both kind of had their moment. But I do think with the John Walker stuff, like you said, like I guess I'm okay with where he's at too, because he's not like a hero again. I don't think he deserves that to be a hero.
He was there because he just happened, He wanted revenge, so he was there.
Yeah, like I didn't, because we talked about, we weren't able to talk about last episode, but episode 4 was the one when, he murdered that guy in front of everyone, and like at that point he's a villain, even if in his mind it's good intentions.
Oh, we didn't even talk about episode 5 actually.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about episode 5.
But that was just like really like catching it up, moving it up to speed, like Sam making the decision to become Captain America at that point.
Yeah, that's when he talked to Isaiah again. That's when they took the shield back from John. And yeah, it was a lot of Sam stuff, which is great. I like the Sam stuff, but
like Bucky just helping out with the ship.
Yeah, dude, that was great. Their relationship. Oh yeah, because that was also the episode. It actually did have important stuff, because that was the episode when they talked, and that was just a great conversation with them, like hashing it out, kind of bigging each other up and being like, no, you're right to do this, to be Cap, and then you also, like, what did he say? Like, you've been avenging, you haven't been amending. I thought that was great.
Yeah, like ironic that Bucky is actually the most avengery of the Avengers.
Yeah, he is. and that just, unfortunately came because of the Winter Soldier stuff. There's one other thing too. Oh yeah, but then like the very end is what kind of set up this one with John, where he was, I don't know if you caught the end credit scene for episode 5, but he was making the shield. That was him, like, actually in the, I don't even know where he was. He was somewhere, and he was literally making like his new Captain America shield, which is, it was garbage.
It's not vibranium. But
yeah, it's not vibranium. It's just like steel or something.
But I mean, it's still pretty, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was good. It didn't last very long against the Flag Smashers and stuff with their super soldier stuff.
And he's still pretty good with it. Really, like.
But I thought even that, like, that was more of him becoming like a villain. Like, that's kind of crazy to be stripped of the Captain America title and then go in like a hut somewhere and like build your own Captain America like accessories.
Tony Stark made this in a box.
Made it with a box. Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. I guess like I was fine with where John Walker ended up, but I didn't like how episode 6, it was very quick, like his turn, and it was very sudden, of like, oh, for no reason I'm just going to save this van full of people. Like his like
it's not something that he would do normally.
Yeah, I mean his he had like an epiphany, but I don't think they built that up very well. It just kind of happened,
Well, we'll have to see where he goes with his character. I think he's fine. I think honestly, he's really in that gray area now.
Yeah.
I can kind of like excuse like some of what he did based on like wanting revenge, and now that he's no longer wanting revenge, he's kind of chill. I would assume for the most part, and he just doesn't know what he wants.
Yeah, and I think that again, I only know comic stuff from like people on Twitter and stuff, because they read the comics, so they throw a lot of information out there. But I mean, you even said it too, with like US Agent, him becoming that, like, and then with that lady, whoever she actually is, like, it's not like he's not necessarily being rewarded. I think that lady's very smart to frame it that way to him, because that just like ups his excitement for his new role. But I don't think the US Agent is going to be doing a lot of good, and I think that's kind of a punishment for him as well, because that could bring up things that he used to do before. Like we've I forget what episode it was, but when we learned how he got that Medal of Honor, like he was technically a good guy.
Crimes.
Yeah,
Crimes he did in Afghanistan.
Yeah. Yeah, so he was a good guy, but he was not doing very good things.
Was forced to do bad things, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think that U.S. agent is gonna kind of be that again, but on a bigger scale. And I think it'd be interesting, exactly like you said, like to see where his character goes with this.
Mm-hmm. It's nice. It's a nice setup, you know. And because we don't know who that is, Marvel could like write something now for her, and if they don't like it later down the line, they can change it.
Of course,
he gives them a lot of free will with that, you know.
And then you talked about Sharon Carter, right? How like you weren't super happy with like what they did with her character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
Some people are saying Brawl dude, and I'm like, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah, that is possible. Because it did get confirmed that she was a power broker, which I don't think was a very like impact. Yeah, it wasn't. It was like, yeah, we kind of
like,
guessed.
Wow, you're the power broker. Wow.
It's like that like meme with like the Star Trek guy when he goes like, and he's like, oh my god, yeah. It's like, oh no.
Oh no.
That meme. But yeah, I'm not like super excited to see what happens with her character, but I am interested to see, because she's also kind of gone like full blown villain at this point.
Yeah.
You know, with her like putting on the smile in the Senate room of like and like the tears, which, you know, there might have been truth behind those tears, but she turned around and like smirked, and then she called whoever she called and was like, oh man, we're gonna be eating tonight, you know, because of all the stuff she has access. Yeah.
You know, like I looked up in her comics and I was like, there's nothing that really makes her turn like this way. So like they're doing a new spin, so I don't know what it could be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's that's exciting for.
Mm-hmm. So this is like all original stuff for her. So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Do you think that she would still do this if Steve was alive?
I don't even know, man. Well, I think the problem was like what they're going with her story right now is because that she was never pardoned, and like now I guess it's like too late. It's like
too late. Yeah.
It's like like she just doesn't feel it anymore. I guess it's like what that's my opinion of how they're like putting it right now, at least.
Yeah. I get that. I mean, she talked about it when she first came back, right? Of like, well, I didn't have the Avengers to back me up, so this is what I had to do. And at the time, we didn't know, and I mean, Sam and Bucky still don't know that she's the. Well, no, they know that she's the power broker now, right? Like Sam does, because he was there.
I don't even know. Like he wasn't even there for the conversation. He just saw her shoot. Right. It's like power broker's still unknown.
Yeah, they still don't know then. Yeah, because at the time, you know, we just thought that she was like talking about her having to live out here and do some stuff. Like she has all this art and everything, so she must have got caught up in, you know, some bad stuff. But now we know that
she is literally, the bad stuff.
Yeah, she's the source. She kind of oversees everything. And yeah, I wonder how much they're gonna actually mess with her in like future shows or future movies.
It's a very interesting character that she basically, I guess, quote unquote, is a big party underground.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll see something like connected with that in Shang-Chi, with the Mandarin.
That's true. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh! Look at that. Was that a tie-in? Oh man, I'm getting real good at this now.
It was seamless. You know. So with Shang-Chi, right? You watched the trailer, right?
Yeah, I watched it. I'm actually excited, like really excited.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's like it's a style they've never really done before. It looks interesting. You know, it's more of like it's another origin story which we haven't seen in years. Mm-hmm. You know, since what, like Captain Marvel probably.
Yeah. That'd be the late one.
Yeah, and so. I mean, it looks cool. I mean, they're like revisiting the 10 rings, which they've teased since Iron Man 1, and we kind of got in Iron Man 3, but now I think this is gonna be like the real 10 rings.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm. I'm just excited. They're like also doing like a sort of like a wushu style movie along with it. last Wushu movie I saw, and I'm being honest because I haven't watched them in years, was like Forbidden Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and that's like years old now. It's like
Yeah, I mean they're
maybe like
definitely
10+ years.
yeah they're definitely paying homage to that style of filmmaking, you know, and just from the trailer, it looks like they've done a really good job of like doing that, but also having the the little touches that make a Marvel movie kind of stand out, you know.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready. They didn't show much, which I'm happy about. Just teased a bit. They're like, he's the ward of the Mandarin,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess he's like, they gotta fight, dude.
You got to do it.
You gotta fight.
We
It's
saw.
like, Dad, I don't want to listen to you. I want to be good. No.
I want to fight crime.
That's the opposite of what I do.
We we did see a little bit of like the rings. That's like, I don't know, he's kind of using them as like gauntlets almost. Kind of fighting with them. That was cool. But even like up to this point, we don't know if the main dude has any powers or not, or if it is just his like super mastery of martial arts. You know, because I know that, I guess like some versions of him, he has powers, some versions he doesn't. So it'd be cool to see again, like what Marvel decides to do, what storyline they decide to pick.
They could do something like Black Panther. Like Black Panther doesn't have like any powers, but like like he ate like the flower, or he drank from the flower, right?
Yeah.
That gives him like superhuman abilities, which I guess is like what they base the super serum on or something like that. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's
Like,
something like that.
How deep do you go, really? We'll figure out how like Marvel does everything. But then like I guess like his Black Panther's most powers come from like his suit.
Yeah. Because that's like all the vibranium, and then it has all the different tech in it. Yeah.
They could do it like that. Or like maybe like he'll be more akin to like magic.
Yeah.
Like a different style of magic than what we've already seen.
I don't know. Do you think that we'll see the other Mandarin in this movie?
I want to say it's a 50-50 shot. I would be surprised if they didn't at least make like a gag or remark and not put Ben Kingsley in the movie as like a cameo.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I would think like at the very least it'd be cool to see him like in jail, and then on one of the TVs in prison, he sees like a like news feed or something like that with the real 10 rings, and he's like, oh man, that was he makes like a joke to one of his cellmates, like, oh, that used to be me or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Or like maybe it's like he got out of jail and he's like, I'm looking for the Mandarin, and he goes and he's like, it's like, well, you're not the Mandarin. He's like, no, I'm the Mandarin.
He's like, no, it's me. He's just like a little sad because he takes like pride in his work because he's like an actor.
Yeah. He's like, I did the TV thing for them.
Yeah.
They told me to record it.
I killed people. I mean, I didn't kill people, but stuff happened.
So you want some wine?
Do you remember when that comes out? It comes out like soon, right? Like September.
Like later
or
this
something?
year, yeah.
Yeah.
Excited.
So going back to Falcon Winter Soldier real quick, Ray.
Of course.
WandaVision, only one season. That's kind of how I like it. I didn't want a second season to that. It seems like it's leading perfectly into Doctor Strange. I don't think a second season would make sense anyway. Falcon Winter Soldier, though, there's talks there's going to be a second season. So it's curious to see what you thought, if you think it should get one.
I'm fine with it just being the one season, and then maybe just have like a movie with like Sam as Cap, and then like maybe have like, obviously have Bucky appear, but then like in that movie probably have Bucky move over towards more White Wolf, and then he can have his series in Wakanda.
So you just made me think of a couple things. The first one is that there is, I think it was confirmed yesterday or something like that they are working on a fourth Captain America movie.
Okay.
So most likely It is with Anthony Mackie, and I think also, like this morning, there's. I don't think this is confirmed. I think this part is rumors.
Just used to go to the Marvel subreddit.
Yeah, I think this part is rumors, but a while ago, it was confirmed. I don't know if it was confirmed. I'm gonna stop saying that, but there was talks that Chris Evans was coming back for some sort of project. Didn't know if it was a movie, if it was a series, if it was, just like some other weird thing for Captain America.
No,
but
I
then,
can't wait for them to go to the moon and see Cap.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see him there. He's just gonna like wave.
Except, like, wait, hold up. Even funnier, he's not on the moon. He's with Nick Fury with the Skrulls.
Ooh, yeah, that could be. I guess this morning it was. They're saying that the Captain America project that Chris Evans is working on is not Captain America 4. So it's like, oh man, what does that mean? What are we doing? And then you just talked about the moon thing, which is great. I saw some people talking about how, like, it seems like Marvel is intentionally not telling us what happened with Steve Rogers. And I think that's kind of a way for them to leave it open-ended so that they can do something fun with that character in the future. Like, where is he? No one has confirmed his death. Even like Sam Wilson, he's
just
like
smiles or whatever.
Yeah, he just kind of smiles, or he says, he's on the moon, like to the kid. But yeah, it never seems like, I don't know. They just leave it too open. And I think if they wanted him to be dead in the universe, they would kind of state it.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't yet.
It's like, yeah, all we've seen is that he came back. He's just sitting on a bench, and he's like, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. Please leave me alone.
Like, I had a good time. Here, take the shield and get out of my face.
And then something that you just made me think of, I didn't even think of this till you said it, was, going to Wakanda, the White Wolf thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Coogler, I think is his name. Dude who directs, I think writes Black Panther. He is working on a series for Disney Plus. I don't remember what it's about specifically. I know it's about Black Panther in some capacity.
Ooh.
So maybe that could, again, I don't know how far out that is. That could be like 5 years from now or something. But, you just mentioned like Wakandan White Wolf series. I definitely think it's possible that after this, Bucky goes back to Wakanda. So that'd be cool.
So White Wolf is a very interesting thing they can do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think like they plan like on having him replace Black Panther.
Oh no, me neither.
Because that's like, it's too far. But he definitely could do a lot in Wakanda with his character, especially because he spent a good amount of time there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, he meshed in well there, and I think that he's proven himself that he can, be a good citizen of Wakanda. Whereas like before, he was there, but he was like off by himself because they still didn't quite trust him. But I think now he's done enough. And what was the other thing? Was Zemo and the raft. It'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Because like Zemo's obviously not dead. I'm sure he'll come back at some point. And then we have kind of the introduction of the raft, which is like a big thing, in Marvel, I guess. Lots of big bad guys get put there. The like flag smashers were gonna be put there, but then they were blown up. And then there's like an old guy, and I don't know who that is. I don't know if we're supposed to know who that was. Who was just like in the car, who watched the explosion happen. Never seen him before.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know who he was working for. I don't know if that was like one of Zemo's guys, because that's what Zemo would have wanted, right? All the super soldiers to die. So yeah, I mean, I guess that could be his way. Zemo still always seems to win no matter what. I actually recently, I've still been trying to work my way through the MCU again, and I watched what one is that, Civil War recently, and he like lost in that movie, but he still won.
Zemo's so good. It's
he like I didn't really realize that until watching the movie again, but he did split up the Avengers.
He got his outcome. He did what he had to do.
Yeah, like.
And then it's just him and Black Panther in the end, and he's like.
Yeah. and
Black Panther's like, you watching this? He's like, yeah, I won, dude. And he's like, you gonna take me in? And he's like, yeah. He's like,
I have to.
And he's like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
it's the wildest.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the wildest endings because it's just like, yep, I did it.
Yeah, like he really did win. Like I didn't realize that. Like that from Civil War, like we don't like they're split up until Infinity War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like that's so long. like he won.
And then even into Endgame, yeah, they're still split up.
Yeah, and exactly. And then even at Endgame, they're still like, nah, this still doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
It's crazy that like, and then what were the years between those movies, right?
Yeah, years. Yeah.
Yeah, years. It's like, wow.
Yeah, man. Loki, huh? Loki's gonna be cool.
Excited for Loki, dude.
Can you?
Yeah, I know you're excited.
Yeah, I am. Can you? You mind looking up real quick when Loki starts? Just so I can get a date. I think it's like early.
This is gonna be quite a bit. Hold up. Okay, Google. When does the Loki Disney Plus show start? June 11th.
June. That's a while. That's like.
See what I did right there is everyone's playing with their speakers, right? They're gonna have an OK Google go out for that.
Ooh. All the people that have Google.
Also, if you do it right, there's a set reminder.
Oh, nice.
Hey Siri.
No,
when does Loki come out on Disney Plus? Hey Siri, set a reminder to watch Loki on Disney Plus on June 11th.
Is that all?
Thank you,
reminder?
Siri. Okay. Hey Siri, set 3 reminders at 12:01 a.m., 12:06 a.m.,
I'm not sure
and
that's
then
how
3
Siri
a.m.
works.
to watch Loki on Disney Plus.
I'm not totally positive that that's how that works.
At June 11th, 2021.
I like the idea of like you not saying the year, so it just sets a reminder for June 11th for every year until like like 2,999. Yeah, right. So Falcon Winter Soldier was good. Loki's coming up soon, but we do.
When does that Black Widow movie drop?
Black Widow is May, like late May, I think.
No.
Hey Google.
Hey Google. When is Black Widow come out on Disney Plus? July 9th.
July. Ooh, I was wrong. Oh yeah, right. I do remember that Black Widow comes out after Loki starts. Yeah, I don't know why I said May. I think it was May at one point, maybe. I don't know. It got pushed like 9 times.
Hey Google, Disney Plus Marvel lineup.
Yeah, I know that Loki is the next thing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we got like a big dry spell for Marvel fans. You should just be happy that you got WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier back to back.
And they were both good.
Yeah, be happy, Marvel fans. You got like a month, maybe 2 months, to like relish in nothingness and wallow in darkness as you wait for Loki.
You ever have relish?
I do enjoy relish, actually. I love relish on my hot dogs.
What is relish?
It's supposed to be like pickles, except like they chop it up and it's a little sweeter.
That's it? It's just pickles?
I'm pretty sure it's just pickles, dude. They just chop them up.
Never tried relish because I was like, that doesn't look good.
Yeah, sweet relish is where it's at. Because I guess there's also spicy relish, but most relish when it says relish on it, it's just sweet. So
I'll have to try that then.
Sweeter cucumber thing. Or like sweeter pickle. Pickles are what, cucumbers or like zucchinis or cucumbers, right? They're cumbers.
What are you talking about? Pickles?
Or pickles, cucumbers.
Pickles as we know them are cucumbers.
Okay. So I was like, dude, honestly, I don't know if they're like zucchinis or not, dude. I'm like, what's a zucchini? It's like a French cucumber? I don't know.
what a zucchini is.
We're hitting like, or zucchini a squash? Is that what it is?
I was literally just gonna say that. Then we get into squash and it messes up. I don't know what anything is anymore.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay, like relish is just pickles. Okay. And a sweeter variation of pickles, diced up all nice. Use them as topping. They're fine on hamburgers. I find them better on hot dogs.
So if you have like a gathering or like a cookout, more specifically, do you go for if you can only pick one? Do you go for the burger or do you go for the hot dog?
Honestly, it depends on feeling. I think because I eat hot dogs very rarely, and if it's a cookout, it's gonna be grilled. I will have a hot dog.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Burgers are more easy to. And I don't like boiled dogs. I'll be honest. I hate boiled dogs.
Same. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
So I'll go for that grilled dog. I think on the first catch, and then second catch, I'll take the burger.
Okay. Yeah. No, I see. I would probably go for the burger, but I definitely agree with how like you have, you said hot dogs less often, because I definitely think that on a whim, even like just in your own home, not even a cookout, you could like just cook burgers and be fine with that. But like you probably don't do that as often as just, hey, let's just make hot dogs today. You know what I mean?
You're not gonna, if you're in your home, you're not gonna like grill a hot dog.
Yeah.
Let's like get your oven, you're gonna get it ready. You're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna boil them, and I'm like, nah, this is not what we're signed up for. We're not boiling hot dogs.
Can you bake them though?
You can't bake hot dogs. Like you can bake corn dogs, right? And like what's it called? Like pigs in a blanket.
Pigs in a blanket are good. I don't think they're very healthy for you, but
like this is me just asking it. Like pigs in a blanket are just generally just like beef hot dogs, like wrapped in like.
It's
what
like,
is it, like a croissant?
Yeah, it's like croissant stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like that like Pillsbury Doughboy.
Yeah.
Stuff. Okay. Yeah.
Michelin Man. Yeah.
Half a Michelin Man. Half of like the Ghostbusters. Anyway.
Yeah, we have to figure out what we're doing for the break, right? The break. And so I made a list, Ray. Did you since yesterday? Did you come up with anything?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I'll be honest. Like most of my movies, I do not know what I actually want to do.
That's fair. There isn't really. I don't think I have any. Well, I have one, but it's kind of like cheating. Any live action stuff, just because. I think you said it last time, where it's like, no movies have really come out recently.
Like because it's everything's delayed because of COVID, right? So it's like heck, like Evangelion was supposed to drop like way earlier. Like Demon Slayer was supposed to drop way earlier. It just came out in theaters like this week. So.
Yeah, like even like Godzilla vs Kong came out, but like that's like whatever to me.
Like, the only movie I think that didn't care was Tenet, and Tenet was like, just don't care. No one's like, we're just gonna drop it anyway.
Yeah, which Christopher Nolan not happy about that. He said, I'm not working with Warner ever again with anything.
It's like they dropped the movie. I didn't want them to drop it at all. They did it themselves. I was no way associated with this decision.
Which like
detach myself from it.
Which like I understand that. I understand like because your movie is not going to make as much money, like nearly as much money. And like, Nolan is one of the most or like the like biggest filmmakers in the industry.
Yeah, in Hollywood, yeah, right? Like, he's really big.
And so like, could you imagine if it actually dropped in like full theaters, like how much money that would have made? Like,
I honestly believe the reception would be worse if it dropped in like full theaters. At least for the movie.
Really? Why is that?
I believe like people would trash on this movie way more if it's actually done. Not because it's a bad movie, because people can't understand the movie.
Sure.
It's because Nolan is being ambitious with Tenet. Is the difference.
Well, he also has a fascination with time travel. It's like time travel is one of the most complicated things to get across to an audience. It's not simple. Even like Back to the Future, people still argue about like how that works and like what the ramifications, what that would be, and like that's like one of the more simple ways to explain time travel. You go back in time, you change something, it'll change something in the future. But then Tenet is like, now we got like parallel worlds, and we got like you know, it's all a
Time
loop.
moving forward here, time moving backwards here. You gotta
Yeah.
work with the flow with the work.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, honestly, I think one of the best movies of all time. Let me hit you with this. Is Harry Potter 3.
Sandlot. Harry Potter 3. Yeah. Yeah, you said that to me before.
Legitimately, under no circumstance, I think this may be one of the best movies of all time, and maybe the best Harry Potter movie.
Is that Azkaban?
Yeah.
Okay. You're very lucky I knew that.
There's so much layers to like the movie as you watch it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So obviously like not like the first like 20 minutes, but like you get like there's nice stuff. You get the night bus. Okay, look, the night bus. Come on.
It's good, man. Yeah. I mean, especially those like earlier Harry Potter movies. I think, well, like 1 and 2 are kind of more.
They suffer from like because the characters haven't really developed themselves yet. You know what I mean? Like the actors are still trying to get that into motion. 3, they've done it for 2 years. Like, okay, this is natural to them now. They're just going with the flow, and it nails it much harder. 4, 4 is like the bad haircut one. 5 is probably the second best movie.
I think the Harry Potter franchise just suffers from what any franchise would suffer from when it's coming from one of the biggest book series of all time. It's like you're not gonna be able to fit everything. Doesn't matter how involved J.K. Rowling is, it just isn't gonna live up to what the readers think of the story.
That's why the third book is so good, though.
Yeah.
Third movie's so good.
Yeah, because I know there are. I think it is the third one, and then there's 1 or 2 other ones that pretty much cover everything in the book, but most of the movies don't. And then people went crazy over, what was it, like the headless Nick, the nearly headless Nick, right? Isn't he like not in the movies?
Oh, Peeves, yeah, Peeves.
Peeves isn't, right? Yeah.
Poltergeist Peeves. Losing their mind, and then they got they completely take out Hermione trying to like free the elves, or like they like shrink it down,
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like much smaller in the movies, where like in the books it's like a big part of Hermione, where it's like we gotta like free these elves, like they're like slaves. And then Harry and like Ron are like, what are you talking about? And she's like, no, but like for real though, like they just do work, and like they're sentient though.
Mm-hmm.
And like they have no issue with this, like, and she's like, Harry, you freed Dobby, right? And he's like, yeah, but like I just did it because it was like he was nice to me. He's like, but like think about freeing like every elf, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then Hermione's like, you gotta join me, and he's like, I guess I have to. He's like reluctantly being a part of it.
He's just like so confused, but his friend is so passionate. He's like, I guess I have to join.
And then Ron's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm trying to free the elves, but I don't really know if I want to.
It's funny because it's like he's doing it against his will, but it's not a bad thing he's doing. So like, there's like inner turmoil there of like, this is a good thing to do, but I don't know if I want to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a much more bigger part of her characters in the book than they do it in the movie. Yeah. They shrink it down.
It's probably because they thought audiences couldn't handle that. It's like, guys,
to be fair,
we have to tone down.
It was okay it being cut, but I thought it was just really funny. Just like watching like Hermione be like, you don't understand, Harry. He's like, what do you mean?
I imagine like you know that meme from Always Sunny in Philadelphia? The one where I think it's Charlie, and he has like the big board. Yeah, he's the big conspiracy board. I imagine that's Hermione like explaining why they have to free the elves. and Harry and Ron are just like, I don't know what's going on with her.
And then Harry has the badge on his robe, and Ron's like,
no.
He's like, then why are you a party? He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Fun times.
Dude, it's awesome. So I have a list, Ray, of movies.
Yeah.
And gosh, I was actually surprised by how much of a break there is.
I thought the break would be less too. That's why I have to look it up.
I got a bunch of anime movies. I got a few regular like cartoon movies, that kind of thing. So I'm just gonna tell them to you, kind of talk about it, see which, hopefully you haven't seen any of these. And yeah, man. So first I'll just tell you like the one like movie that's kind of cheating, like it's kind of live action but kind of not. It's Detective Pikachu.
I have seen Detective Pikachu.
Seen it? Okay. Yeah, cause like it is live action, but like it's like all the Pokemon and stuff like aren't, you know.
Yeah, I'll say this from what I heard, because I never played the game. Pretty good adaptation of the game. I've watched the movie.
Go for a second.
That's all I can say because like, there was the game, you know.
Yeah. I know that like wasn't that game supposed to come out on 3DS, but then it was like forgotten about.
It did come out on 3DS, and like I don't think much people played it.
Yeah, because I think when it was announced, people were hype over it. They're like, "Oh man, Detective Pikachu, this is crazy," and then like no one played it. And it's like,
To be fair, that's like most like Nintendo hype for like a game that's like obscured and people try it and then no word comes out of it. Missing Thunder. But at least with Detective Pikachu, because it's a movie, it hit like global sensation.
Right. Yeah. And it's Pokemon, so it's like, you know, people have been waiting for like a mainstream Pokemon thing.
Let me go!
As freaks of nature, dude.
What do you call it? Maybe my favorite part of the movie.
So let's see. I got that new Ghibli movie, the one that people hate.
Mary the Witch's Flower.
Nope, that's not Ghibli. It's just from the people who were part of Ghibli. And that was not a bad movie. I thought that was a good movie.
Yeah, but it was thoroughly enjoyable.
Yeah. The one people hate is the 3D one, and it's the Earwig and the Witch.
Yeah, I'm down to watch that so we can have our opinions on what
because like
really makes the movie.
Because yeah, I mean like, you know, Ghibli's great, but people are like, nah, this ain't it.
To be fair though, like I'll be honest, like I've seen Ni no Kuni gameplay. That's basically like Ghibli, you know,
sure.
It's 3D.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, stop complaining. Y'all are just cowards.
Stop complaining, you yellow bellies. You know what I mean? We got Coco. Have you seen Coco?
I've not seen Coco.
I have also not.
This will be the rare one where I think you've seen Coco, right?
Nope, I have not.
No, really? Wow, we can jump in that one blind.
Yeah, I just never like I wanted to watch it. It just kind of passed, and I was like, I'll get to it. You know, and then like
Soul. I didn't watch Soul yet.
Dude, Soul, I watched it like last weekend. Soul is like really good.
Okay.
Soul's like legitimately like a really good Pixar film.
Okay. Well, Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey kind of got me, so I'll watch Soul.
And someone else, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Can't wait for Jerry Seinfeld to be in a Disney movie.
Can we, dude? Can we have a real discussion? Because there are, you know, other people at media outlets. You know, they're too afraid. Okay, they're too afraid to address some topics. You know, when is B Movie 2 coming out? You know.
Let me hit you with this. They came out with a sequel to Romeo and Juliet. How many years after the first?
Oh yeah, wasn't that like Sherlock Gnomes?
Sherlock Gnomes. Like, never be afraid, dude.
Never be afraid.
There could be a B movie. There could be a B movie 2 somewhere on the horizon.
Do you know? Okay, so let's just say like a year from now, right? Because like, you know, vaccines coming out, people taking them. You know, we're getting there, right?
I got my first shot. Yeah, I'm feeling.
Oh, nice, dude. I gotta get mine. They didn't they just pass something that was like, dude, anyone can get them now? It's crazy.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's anyone now. When I went a couple weeks ago, it was like anyone who's like over 16 can
16,
get the shot.
Yeah. I'll have to do that. Let's say like end of the year, or even like next year, right? When it's like fully like most people taking it, things over, people, you know, going back to theaters and stuff. You know how much money they would make from B Movie 2 just because it's such a meme? Like kids would want to go see it because kids are dumb, kids love cartoon movies, doesn't matter, right? But then you have adults who are like, nah, it's B Movie 2 though.
Like,
you know?
Like the millennials, like who are like, finally our time has come. And then you get all the memes with like millennials be like, if I see a single kid like laughing or crying in this theater, I will punt them out the door.
Yeah.
Like I will desecrate their graves. And I'm like, you don't have to go so hard. They're like 5.
They don't know any better. Yeah, man. I mean, it would be huge. people go see it, you know? And like, I would love it if they do a B movie too, and like, they're smart about it, and people who work on the movie were fans of the first movie, because like, that, you know, that usually breeds
Sonic movie.
Exactly, right? Cause yeah, like they were fans of it, and like they would hopefully make B movie 2 like self-aware. Like, okay, we know what B movie 1 was. We know that there's like memes about it. We know that it's a ridiculous concept. So now we're gonna go like all in on that with the B movie 2.
Yo, I want marriage counseling B movie 2.
Like how you know, like how there was therapy in Falcon and Winter Soldier. You know, do the same thing in
it's like,
B movie 2.
It's just not the same magic as it used to be. I used to see here, I thought it was like pollinating a bunch of flowers. Now, it's like, what am I doing? It's like I'm looking at weeds outside.
Yeah. Dude, that'd be so good.
It's just not the same.
It's a great idea. You know, why is Hollywood afraid? You know?
Because we're the ones who can ask the real questions. That's why we have no fear.
No fear, dude. Anything could happen.
It's the same thing like when Incredibles 2 or like Finding Dory came out, dude. They were like, or like Monster University, they were like, children will not be allowed in theaters.
Yeah, I know. Like, people who are serious about that just need to calm down just a little bit, you know. Incredibles 2 wasn't even really like that, like crazy, you know.
I understand saying it as a joke, like, haha, yeah, but there's actually people who are serious about it. And I'm like, there's like, you just need to go out more.
Yeah. Like if
make some friends.
If like a 90-minute movie is that important to you, you know, that when a sequel comes out, like, come on, it's fine, you know.
Like, dude, you knew what you're going into when you got into a movie theater. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
It's not like you rented out the entire place, like, dude.
This is the experience.
It's like you signed up for this. And then you're gonna complain about the one tall guy who sits in front of you? Yeah, because he bought his seat. I don't know what to say.
That's why I always like sit in the back, like the very back.
I do be sit in the back. I either sit in the back or I sit in the middle. At least now. I'll sit in the back most of the time, but like if it's an empty theater, dude, I'll sit in the middle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like Sonic movie when I went, dude, dead. It was like pre-COVID, like almost when COVID, like quarantine was gonna happen. It was just dead. No one was watching Sonic, dude. It was me, a couple other goons, and then like a mom with her 2 kids. That was the theater.
Yeah, I mean that like pretty much sums up the whole Sonic fan base. You know, sometimes they go all in, sometimes they don't.
Listen, I'm just saying Sonic 3 should have and Knuckles in the title.
That would be cool.
Like, we already know Knuckles is confirmed in Sonic 2. Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah.
Y'all are idiots if you thought he wasn't in Sonic 2.
Yeah.
But like, Sonic 3 should have and Knuckles, though. Like, whatever they have in the name for Sonic 3, it should just have and Knuckles.
If they make a Sonic 3.
You know they're making a Sonic 3. Sega, please hire me. I will be selling out
ideas, dude.
So much. I may not even be like a super big fan of Sonic, but like, let me tell you how great of an idea that is. But they don't even remember Vanilla the rabbit. You know how large she is? That's Cream the Rabbit's mom. She's the size of an average human mother.
Okay.
That is verbatim a quote from top 10 hottest Sonic characters.
I don't think I needed to know that. Are you looking up something right now, Ray?
I was watching Donkey react to top 10 hottest Sonic characters. Okay. And then for Donkey's video, he came up with the bit on, I'm pretty sure it was for his April Fool's video, he came up with top 10 hottest Mario characters to make fun of the top, well, not make fun of and pay homage, because it's such a great, it's first of all, top 10 hottest Sonic characters is such a great video. So it's slightly poking fun, but also like paying some respect to the real king by making top 10 hottest Mario characters.
Sure.
Donkey is a real legend in that aspect.
He definitely is.
It's like number 1, Rabbid Peach. That's it. That's my list. I don't have to explain it.
That's fair.
In the Sonic video, I always remember the line, Vanilla the rabbit, Cream the rabbit's mom. She's about the size of an average human mother.
Just in case you needed to know.
Like, he says it so, not flat, but like so in like slightly enthusiastically.
Mm-hmm.
But like he comes off so serious though. And I'm like, I would have like done like how many takes of this before actually getting it right?
Yeah. I wonder how many takes they actually did, which cut they used.
It's beautiful.
So I have one on here that.
See, I can't wait for Sonic 3 where Vanilla shows up.
The
And
biggest
Knuckles,
plot
I forgot
twist.
Knuckles.
Yeah, and Knuckles. The next Sonic movie is just called Vanilla and Knuckles.
Where's Sonic?
Where's that? We don't know.
That's the name of the movie. Vanilla and Knuckles, where's Sonic?
Such a long movie title. Everyone knows the longer the movie title, the better the movie. That's why, yeah. So I have one here, Ray, that you might want to look up because I think there's like a subtitle for it, but I don't remember what it is. It's called. Okay, I'm just gonna spell it. It's Maquia. 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 And then there's a subtitle too. I don't remember this movie because I don't remember the name. I don't remember why I wrote this down.
When the Promised Flower Blooms?
Sure. That sounds right. I just thought it looked good. I think it had a good score in Mal, so I was like, let's write it down.
Alright.
I don't remember what it was about though. It sounds sad from the subtitle you
We
just
should
read.
watch the Violet Evergarden OVA or whatever they came out with.
The OVA, or is there a movie?
Was it a Violet Evergarden movie or just an OVA?
I know there's a movie, but like everyone movie that.
We should watch the movie. That would really complete our hearts.
Oh my god. Phone went crazy. Alright, let me write. Yeah, I think a movie definitely came out. I think people liked it. I don't remember. Alright, it's Violet Evergreen. Because Evergarden isn't a word, so it's Violet Evergreen. We got one that I saw. I haven't watched it, but I saw that people liked it, I guess. It was A Whisker Away. And from what I remember, it's a movie about, I think someone turns into a cat. I think. And like, the main character learns something because of the cat person. Something like that. But it's not like a cat person, it's like a person who's a cat. You know what I mean? So there's a clear distinction. Let's see, and then I got Promare. Never got around to watching Promare. I hear it's wild.
Yeah, we actually should watch Promare.
Lots of colors, lots of action from what I can tell. I got Redline, which is actually kind of an older movie, but it still looks really cool. I know the dude rides a motorcycle, dude has long hair, you know the very classic long hairstyle that doesn't really exist in real life. Look cool. 5 centimeters per second. Still never got around to watching that. I don't remember what that one's about. I think that one's like sad too.
Pessimism is supposed to be depression.
Yeah.
Remember like Your Name? And like how that
Yeah.
like Your Name and whatever the other one was, Weathering with You?
Sure.
Like happy, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Quote unquote happy. Apparently it's not supposed to be that way with his other works. He's like, you want a dose of depression? Give. Also, I kind of hate the. Oh, this is me resending on something I said, where I said like Weathering with You was the same movie as Your Name.
Mhm.
Weathering with You is like Your Name, but like turned up to like 11 for the most part. What it wants to present,
Yeah, that's true.
but still the same type of movie, I'll say.
Yeah. I mean, they are very similar, but I do think Weathering with You kind of builds on it. You know.
As well as like it has the characters from like Your Name in it, so like if you liked Your Name, you'll be like, oh my gosh, the characters are here.
That's true. Same universe. Then I got Ride Your Wave. Never seen that.
It's like Surf's Up.
It is actually the sequel to Surf's Up.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know how you knew that.
Wait, really? Are you serious? I was just saying it for fun.
No, it's not at all. Not even close.
Okay. I was like, dude, like you can't like say that to me. Like I actually thought like I had something.
Surf's Up, underrated movie.
Surf's Up is like, it's one of those movies where like I watched as a kid and I was like, I don't even know like if it's gonna be good or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I can't tell.
Like I can't tell.
And I'm a kid.
Like,
I'm like
kid.
Everything.
Yeah, it's like this movie just looks like a big mess, dude. Watching Surf's Up is crazy. That movie actually deserves a rewatch.
Surf's Up is good. They made a Surf's Up too. I refuse to watch it because it's like some weird tie-in with like the WWE. It's like
it's movie sequels.
Characters there. It's weird. I don't want to watch that. No, I'll never watch it. And the last movie I have is Mirai. I think that's.
Oh yeah, Mirai.
Yeah, never seen that. That's by one of the famous directors.
Yeah. Let me remind you that you did say that we were gonna watch Mirai, okay?
I did say that a while ago. Yeah, wanted to watch that.
Yeah.
When it was announced, I think it was like, oh man, this movie made by that dude. You know. But yeah, right, that's all I have. That's 10 plus the Violet Evergarden that you threw in, so 11. And what do we have? We have like 6, something like that. 6, 7 weeks.
Yeah, we got time.
Yeah, that's my list, man. I made it, and yeah. So Ray, well, we'll have to do one for next week. Ray, do you have any? I'll let you take first pick for next time.
Really? I was actually gonna let you take first pick.
Are you sure? Well
yeah.
Then. Let's see then. Let's
If I was to suggest anything, it would be Coco. But that would be it.
Yeah, we can do Coco first. It's kind of I have been watching some Pixar movies recently, so let's start with Coco.
All right. If you're in the mood for Coco, I'm in the mood for Coco. We're both in the mood for Coco. Better be hot.
Hot Coco. Remember that scene from SpongeBob? He was at when they were all like reined in SpongeBob's house. That's where Squidward, Patrick, and all them, and he was naming off all the things they could do, and he kept talking about how he wanted to drink Coco.
Coco.
And then he messed up and he said hot tea, and then Patrick freaked out.
Tea.
No,
I meant hot cocoa.
Such a good scene. I don't know why people don't like modern SpongeBob. You know, it's great.
SpongeBob got some carbs in some episodes.
Yeah.
No, you just gotta look at who's directing episodes really, or like who's producing them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, what is next? I mean, might as well just which anime you want to start with, right?
Let's start with the Megalo Box today, only because Megalo Box first 2 episodes is really just 1 episode.
That's true. Yeah. Did you kind of blend together? Yeah.
Yeah, they blend pretty well. So basically, there's not really much to say. The reason why I started Megalo Box is because like literally, like, what am I gonna say about it? This brief synopsis of story: nameless fighter, for a ring, is an illegal immigrant, or he's not a citizen, I guess.
Right.
Where he's doing fights underground, getting money, paid to lose fights actually. So he's a better fighter than he actually is. Like they hustle that way. So like he'll purposely lose fights in order to make money for like whoever's like running him as his agent, and like then they get paid that way, a cut of what the winner has, like they're holding stuff like that. Meets up with the person who is going to be who is the champion and also like the top fighter and like the person who's like his agent for like the #1 fighting tournament, Megalomania, I guess, or Megalania, or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like he's like, okay, like we're gonna fight, and he's like, never mind, we're not gonna fight. And then the episode's like, yo, we're gonna fight, dude. Episode 2 is like, yo, we're fighting. Oh, you lost, but you actually held up against my punches and didn't die. So you know what? Respect you. Meet me in the ring, big boy. He's like, oh, we're gonna fight in the ring. No, you're not. He's like, and then he's like, pay me money or you're gonna lose your mouth or your tongue and like die. Give me your eyeball. You're going to Megalomania, boy. What's your name? I want my name to be Joe.
Joe.
Summed up the entire 2 episodes right
This
there.
is what happened, yeah. Some things I like to add. I like the art style of the show. I think it's nice. I think
Pretty
it
nice art
is.
style.
It is. To me, it is kind of reminiscent to like. I kept getting like Cowboy Bebop vibes from like
Yeah,
how
it's definitely like a Cowboy Bebop. I was gonna bring that up actually. Definitely
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop. Like, this is more like he's a man against the world.
Right. Yep. I do think I'm because like I haven't watched too many sports anime, only like a couple, and this definitely gives me like classic sports anime vibes where it's like, oh, he's the underdog, but like he's actually pretty good, and now we're basically just gonna see like a huge tournament arc,
Fun
but
fact: like most sports anime, if you didn't realize, are just tournament arcs.
They are, yeah, yeah. From the few I've seen, it is.
It's like your tournament, you get your training arcs, and they just mesh together, and they work so well.
But I think a kind of prediction I'm gonna make for the show is that I don't think the focus is gonna be on the fighting at all. I don't think like, we will see some cool action stuff, we'll see some cool fights and everything, but I think there's gonna be a lot of focus on behind the fights, and I think that we are gonna see more stuff about that woman who like set this whole tournament up and everything. I think there's gonna be some shady stuff going on there, maybe some politics, because they already teased, you already mentioned it, the whole like immigrant thing, I was not a citizen. I'd be curious to see if they go deeper into that, if that's like a big thing with that city or whatever.
Do you remember Redline?
What are you talking about?
Remember Redline?
Well, I don't know what Redline is.
That was the racing anime movie.
Okay. Are you talking about the movie that I brought up on my list?
Did you bring up Redline on your list?
I did, yeah, I did.
Did you watch it before or
No,
not?
I've never seen it. No.
Okay, I've seen Redline like twice.
Okay.
Like, I'm getting like a Redline type of vibes from how they run this operation. At least how like they're running it with like Joe. That's what they really are. You go watch Redline, or we can watch Redline here, on the show.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it. Yeah, it is definitely unfortunate that like he does seem like a really good fighter. I mean, he's not like champion level because he got destroyed, but like he's gonna get better like equipment, right?
I think the joke, at least like from what I was like remembering, I don't think like he tries to get better equipment. I think he just likes his like bottom tier stuff. Maybe he does get better equipment.
So this is gonna be like Real Steel, where it's like, no, I'm not gonna get better. I'm just gonna win with this dummy bot somehow. And I'm gonna win with heart. Classic shonen anime, power of friendship. This is how I win.
It's more like he's actually just winning through technique, really.
Technique, yeah. Do you think that because that's still very early on, only 2 episodes, but do you think there's going to be a redemption arc for his partner?
Maybe. The partner doesn't even seem scummy, honestly. It just seems like he's also at the bottom of the barrel, and this is what he does to scrape by.
Sure, yeah. He's kind of backed into a corner. I mean, I'm sure it was his fault. I mean, he shouldn't have gotten mixed in with these guys, but at this point, not really much you can do.
Yeah, like he's like, if we win, then we hit big. We all win. So I feel like I don't feel bad for the partner really, but like I understand what's happening. It's obviously like he's scraping. This is what they do to survive. It's just because they just guarantees the money that way. You can't guarantee money like just by winning fights alone. You don't know like if something happens, so better like you set yourself up and lose some and get paid at least than just having to like. I can see where they're coming from, at least on that end. Obviously, you shouldn't be fixing fights, but I mean, if it gives the money, I mean, say.
It definitely happens, yeah. So yeah, I just have a couple more things, kind of my own predictions, and I want to see what you think. First one is, do you think that he's gonna win the tournament?
Yes.
Yeah, I also think he will. I think there'll be issues, again, classic sports anime, there's going to be like a hump he's got to get over, but, he'll end up winning. The second one, which is more of an interesting one than just winning the tournament. Do you think that at any point the woman who set all this up, do you think that she will try and persuade him to come to her side, like to like sign under her whatever, you know, I'll say her label, but it's not music, but like her like agency? Do you think he will get so good and like she'll start to notice it and then be like, oh man, he might actually be a problem and I can't have him win, I need my main man to win, so now I'm gonna try to
like pay him off, honestly, and like,
yeah, similar to, here's a reference, have you ever watched, what was that movie called, what was the movie about the car that was a Beetle, like that old Volkswagen Beetle car, and it came alive?
Herbie.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Or Herbie Fully Loaded. Yeah.
There was actually a bunch of movies, I guess, about him, but the one that I remember, and this might have been like a Disney version or something, I don't know.
The Lindsay Lohan one.
Yeah, Lindsay, dude. Yes, Lindsay Lohan. Okay.
Yeah, Herbie Fully Loaded, dude.
So I think that was the one where she was really good and she was racing like a final race against like the top racer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was clearly afraid that she was going to win, you know, like like the next race tomorrow, the final cup or whatever, and he bought her car off of her, you know, be like, hey, you know, you're doing this for the money, because like it was like her family or something was, you know, very poor and, you know, needed the money to do stuff, and he was rich obviously because of all of his wins, and he was like, listen, I'll buy the car off you, then you'll have more than enough money to provide for your family and kind of get everyone on their feet, live an actual life, because you're not going to beat me tomorrow, and then you'll walk away with nothing, you know. And so I think she accepted the deal, but then like at the last minute, like she went back to Herbie and like cried to the car or something, and then they got him back. That's not important, but that, you know, that could be a similar situation here where it's like she is afraid that Joe is going to win because it looks like he's going to. So then he like coaxes her to be like, hey, you know, I could help you out. You know, you're doing this for the money. I mean, he's not, I guess, but like, you know, you're doing this for a reason. And I could help you if you come over to my side. I can give you some real tech. You know, I could train you properly. You know, because he hasn't been trained, right? It's only just like self-taught, I imagine.
Yeah, like fist fights, dude.
So yeah, just like offer him stuff, come over to our side, and that way, even if she does let him win, at that point, he'll be winning for her. You know? I think that would be an interesting proposition. I don't think he'll take it, obviously, because that doesn't seem like his character. But I think it could be something that she would do from the 2 minutes that we've seen of her trying to figure out what her character and personality is like. But yeah, man. I think Megalo Box pretty good so far. I think it's just starting off in a very predictable way. So we'll see where it goes, you know. Why don't we move on to SNAFU, because that's the other older one that we watched a week ago. What do you think about SNAFU, Ray?
Dude, it's not starting like a typical rom-com. It's like there's no hints of romance yet. But obviously, like in your head, we're gonna pair these two characters that are both great in both episodes. We have the main MC, who is just like a guy. I don't know what else to say, but he's like, you know,
he's just a regular guy who like is kind of full of himself a little bit.
Antisocial-ish.
Yeah, antisocial. He doesn't want to change his ways.
Then you got like the perfect princess student.
And we have like the other girl that came in who, I guess she
can't cook.
Yeah, she can't cook.
And she's like kind of like she's like tied to like her cliques.
Yep. And then we briefly saw in episode 2 we saw the
nerdy writer.
Yeah, he's like he has his delusions.
Like how many books
well.
he ripped off?
Yeah. What book did you? What story did you rip off to write this?
Savagery, by the way.
Yeah, I agree with you. There's no real hints of romance. I mean, just having watched other shows that are similar to this one, exactly like you said, you could definitely see them eventually getting to the point where they pair off the main character and the princess. Would you say like perfect, whatever. I could definitely see that happening.
Honestly, you can go like any way right now. Who knows, man? Maybe like he likes maybe like there's an inclination that he may like the other girl as well.
Yeah, and again, we're only 2 episodes in, but I do hope that they really start developing these characters, because as of right now, we're just introduced to them, so it's fine. But like, I hope they take their time making these characters worth caring about and not focusing on all the other characters, because they are in a club where the club's purpose is to help other people, right? Like with their problems.
And that's what they seem to be doing, and like both of their different perspectives actually kind of lend to that in a different way.
Right, yeah, because they can look at it from different angles, and
like they got the other girl to join the club as well, so that's kind of.
I just really hope that, because my fear, Ray, is that they're gonna fall into a type of anime that I am not a big fan of, which is.
What is it? The harem?
No. I think harem is fine in certain cases. I'm not a fan of the anime where each episode, or maybe every 2 episodes, is focused on helping a character, and then we fix their problem and then it ends. Like.
What do you mean, dude? You didn't like Bakemonogatari or like the Bunny Girl show?
So Bakemonogatari, didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was. I think I gave it like a 7 or something like that. I was like, it was cool. Bunny Girl is the only example of this anime that I very much enjoyed, because they were still able to keep all the characters, and they kept developing even after we solved their issues, and then they still focused heavily on the main character and grew him out. Whereas something like this, what's the show called? SNAFU.
We can't. Yeah, SNAFU. Yeah.
Yeah, with SNAFU, I'm afraid that they're not gonna focus on the main characters all that much, or not all that much, but not enough. And because like episode 2 focused on the like writer, I was like, okay, we'll fix his problem. He's still writing, he still has his delusions, but like we kind of cracked the surface of that, right?
But he's dedicated. He wants to do it. He has passion.
Right. Yeah, and that was great. He's got it. He's got a clear vision now. But like,
and like he's not afraid for him criticism anymore. He's like, give it to me. He's like, I want to improve. I want to make it better.
Yeah, which is awesome. But like, is every episode gonna be like that? Like, how much are they gonna make us care about the main characters? Or are the main characters just going to be like there? Which I wouldn't like, because then why would I care? Because then at that point it becomes an episodic show, and I'm not a big fan of that.
Yeah. The bad thing about Bakemono, and I really feel bad about it for you, is that like there's really no character development right now. At least if we go through Bakemono and like Nisei, because it's just introducing characters.
Right.
It's not gonna build on anything, which is like the problem for you, because I know you like what you want to see, like that growth. It's like I know, like in Bakemono and Nisei, it's just more introduction and like getting things set up for like a larger scope of what it's going for before actually digging deeper.
Right, yeah. And when we finished that, I remember you like telling me that. I think you told me like kind of towards the end of the show as well, as as the final episode too. And that's what when we're talking, I was hoping that, I was like, I hope that, because I know Monogatari as a series is like super long, bunch of different branches and stuff, and that's why I said, I was like, I'm hoping that this is just the introduction to the characters, of the world, the style, and then all of the branches kind of go further with the different characters.
Nisei kind of goes more into again introducing more characters the second season, and after that you really delve into like going deeper into them.
Right, yeah, which again is is why I probably really like the Rascal Bunny show or whatever, because it is only 1 season, so they did have to fit all of that in the season that I watched. Yeah, I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, I heard the movie is just depression actually.
Yeah, let me add it to this so maybe we will watch it. But yeah, like I'm just, I'm not comparing the show to Cells at Work, but Cells at Work was a similar issue where it was like, for me personally, it was like every week.
Well, yes, Cells at Work doesn't make you care. Obviously, I feel like with SNAFU, because it's a rom-com, eventually we will have to care.
Right. Yeah, I have much higher hopes for this show than Cells at Work. I'm just saying that I hope it does start doing it soon. It's only 2 episodes. It's not like the show's dead or anything, but I do.
There
hope
are multiple seasons. We got like 3 seasons, maybe, or 4 seasons to actually go into. Like,
there are
if you want to continue.
Like again, I think I like it so far. I think it is the slowest start for me out of all the 4 shows we've watched, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it could also be my bias because I have seen a lot of rom-coms, so it's like, okay, let's kind of get it going,
No, the problem is, like, after like saying this and looking back, like, what was it, dude? The one show that we like made fun of way too hard.
Sing Yesterday?
Yes, Sing Yesterday. Sing Yesterday started pretty well, actually. Like, let's be honest. I found one of the better like first 2 episodes in like most rom-coms.
Definitely.
It's a shame it ended up that way.
It just sucks that it kind of rushed the ending, because the show itself was pretty solid. The ending was just disappointing. And I was like, it could have ended like this, and it would have been better, more impactful.
We got our 2 seasonal anime.
Got our 2 seasonal anime, right? Which one do you want to start with?
Which do you want to start with?
Oh man, I would rather start with. Let's see, what are they?
It's Tokyo Revengers and To Your Eternity.
Yeah,
That's right, guys. We changed it out. We're not doing Princess of Snow and Blood. We got you.
I forgot that we did that.
We switched it. We switched it. Funny, guys. Go watch To Your Eternity instead of Princess of Snow and Blood, because that got swapped post production.
We had a very rigorous meeting, and it was very heated, but we did come upon To Your Eternity. I would.
I also have Shadow House as well.
What
if you don't feel like reading manga, watch Shadow House.
Shadow House. Yeah, I did add that to my list. I want to start with To Your Eternity because I feel like I have more to say.
There's less than that.
Yeah, I have more to say about Tokyo. So To Your Eternity, pretty cool so far. I think that this was fairly slow as well. But I like this slowness more than I like the SNAFU slowness, because I think this one is more so like building a world. It's really showing you what the atmosphere of the show is going to be, and like, dude, world building, man, it's crazy.
Or even be like, I've converted a man.
But yeah, it is built, and like, I thought it was really cool how that dude just died. Like.
Yeah, again, like, this is the same person who wrote Silent Voice.
Yeah.
There's not going to be chill here. If anything, this is To Your Eternity, I think, is like regarded as maybe one of their better works. I don't know how the later chapters of the manga go because I haven't read it in a while, but like, it really hits hard emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, I just wasn't expecting that. Like, I wasn't expecting, because like that like solidified that this spirit or whatever, that's just what I call it, the spirit thing, is the main character, right? Like, I would have thought that kid would have like, would have been like a team, traveling, finding some places,
and maybe like, like he's like working with the thing that transforms, and like maybe he gets like stronger, and you're like, okay, like the adventure.
Yeah. And
no, they just straight up kill him. They ice him.
Dude, crazy. I do have, because then the second episode, goes into the people, and there's like a village, and they're gonna sacrifice the daughter or whatever, wild stuff. And then I do like this kind of relationship between the spirit and the like kid, because it's like, it's a kid, but the kid seems to be like forming like a teacher role, like a mentor role, because this thing doesn't know how to act like a human. You
I
know,
like to point out that it's more like a motherly role.
motherly.
Actually,
Sure, yeah.
because that's what she wants to be.
Right, yeah. And as soon as you said that, I did remember that she was very obsessed with having that like family with their
And
like
becoming a grown up so she can be a mother.
yeah, okay,
So,
yeah,
like,
that is yeah, there's a better way to put it, a mother. Yeah, I do like that one. There's one thing though with that kid, right? So I think I may have missed it, or maybe they didn't say it. I'm not sure which one. Do we know what happened to his people? Did they die? Did they leave him?
It's assumed they all died there. Like those like stones, or basically like the gravestones or whatever.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Because yeah, I wasn't sure about that.
Because like you see like how he's back in the village all alone, and like they had those stones there that he set for all the old people who like couldn't go on with him.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just didn't connect that, I guess. Yeah. That makes sense. So what was the point of that kid then? Like from like a writing perspective, was it
Okay,
just
so, like, it's introducing you to like the world, okay?
okay?
To like because we're having an alien perspective. If you don't, at least in the manga, I should really stress this. We're having a very alien perspective based on like this thing that was just a rock became a wolf. Doesn't know what a wolf is, but is acting as everything is new in this world. You know what I mean? So it doesn't understand anything. So it has this very weird way of looking at it. So you're looking at this thing that cares for you, you know, and because it's not like an actual wolf, it doesn't have any animosity towards this person. It doesn't know what that is. You know, it doesn't know like fear, anger, hate, you know. So it's just gonna follow whatever this person does for it.
It's just like pure curiosity. It's like, what is this? What is that? Like what does this mean? Why are they looking at me?
Yeah, and like this thing feeds me. It doesn't know what it, you know, you see obviously was like, you know, this thing gives me food, you know, whatever, keeps me warm. It's getting that sensation, you know. It's like, okay, well then maybe this is nice. There's nothing to change that aspect.
So okay, yeah, because I mean, even with like the simple thing of eating, it didn't even know what eating was. It didn't even know like what is eating, you know. And then like the kid showed him, and it was like, oh, this makes sense. You know, I feel good after I do what he just did, you know.
It's essentially like a blank slate to the beauty.
Do you think that's where the like feels are gonna come from like him learning? Not, you know, because right there he kind of was learning the good stuff. You know, he was like, oh, eating feels good, sleeping feels good, you know, being warm next to a fire feels good. But then now he's with this girl who, terrible stuff, right? I mean, I'm assuming they're still gonna probably look for her, right? They're still gonna search and, you know, find them. And then he may now learn all the bad stuff. You know, he may see. I mean, he already saw the kid die, but kid didn't really die. You know what I mean? He fell. You know, he died in his sleep. But like this, you may see actual murder. They may see like, you know, people being treated poorly. You know, inhumanely, that kind of thing. And then like, he may actually learn emotion at some point, because even when his kid died, it was just like, what's going on? And then he transformed into the kid, you know. But like with this, he may actually have emotion, which is what makes humans, I guess. I mean, it's one of the things anyway. So I think that'd be interesting, you know.
Yeah, it's pretty grand. You're in for a real treat with this one. That's why I recommended this one and Shadow House. Well, Shadow House is different. I recommend it for more like a mystery type of thing.
Yeah.
But this one's like more of like a feels show.
Yeah. It definitely feels that way. I think there was something else. Yeah, man. I can't think of it.
Oh, hold on. Let me take this call real quick.
Okay. So while Rayman's taking that call, I don't know if he has his other earbud.
Yeah, hello?
I think he's Yep. So that happened.
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, good. He took the other one out, so now I can talk. Okay, so.
Oh, I'm with Tyler.
So
I'm with Tyler.
So here's what's happening, right? We're watching To Your Eternity. He's talking about something. Oh, we can still hear him too, so that's really funny. See, I think To Your Eternity is gonna be interesting, man. Silent Voice also. He mentioned that Silent Voice people
with someone else.
People wrote this. Definitely watch Silent Voice. Read Silent Voice. I think at some point we may rewatch it. Maybe not like as part of this or anything, because I've never read the manga, and Ray is like, oh, there's like this big difference in the manga. It's like with like the framing of the story. I also think I've only seen the movie once, and it's like one of the best movies of all time, I think. So we may do that. I think there was something else about To Your Eternity, but I couldn't remember. It kind of gave me like slime vibes, the reincarnated as a slime. It's like a new thing in a new world. Is this technically an isekai? I don't think it is, but it is funny to be like this new thing, new world. What's going on? I wonder if the spirit is actually going to be a human for the rest of the series, or if they're gonna morph into another human, or maybe another like beast. But I do feel like human is probably the most complex it can get. And would it have to wait for something else to die? Is that how that works? Because it itself has died, but then is regenerated. Or reanimated. Yeah, I don't know what the rules are on how it decides.
There we go.
Hey Ray, so like what are the rules on how it decides when to turn into something or when to just regenerate?
Oh, well, you go over a little more in the future, but like it just takes the form of whatever dies next to it.
Okay, so that's it then?
Yeah.
Alright, because it itself has, it said it regenerated like 8 times or something.
Yeah, every time it regenerates, it can regenerate faster.
Okay, alright. Oh yeah, I do remember that too, because I was like, oh, by this time it only took 12 hours or something, so yeah. Okay. And I was talking about how at some point we may, probably not be anytime soon, but at some point in the future we may watch Silent Voice.
Yeah.
Because I still have to read the manga, and then we can kind of talk about the differences there, because there's slight differences, but then also just talk about the movie, because the movie's good.
Yeah, no, there's slight differences, and as I said, like they cut out some of the subplots that they have in the manga.
Yeah, and then I guess we can go on to our last one, Tokyo Revengers.
Ooh, exciting.
So I do have some nitpicks with this show. I do think overall the first 2 episodes are pretty good, but there are a few things that it's a show about time travel, right? And we coincidentally talked about time travel earlier with like Tenet and stuff. But I guess you just gotta suspend or dispend your disbelief when it comes to some aspects of the show, because overall it's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of this female character. Don't remember her name. It's like Hinato or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like being the anchor or whatever for this man.
Yeah, she's great, very strong. Love her character. I like their relationship so far. And then there was something else. I think in the first episode I wasn't a big fan of his friends, but in the second episode I was like, oh nah, they actually care about each other.
It's like they're just doing what middle schoolers do.
Yeah, and just they're a little misguided, but they care, and I would like to see some growth from them. One quick prediction. I think at the end of the show, when all this resolves and he goes back to his time, I think that he will meet these friends again in current time, as they're all older and stuff. Hey, remember this was crazy. Remember how we were all used by the Tokyo gang? That was nuts.
Yeah, it would be crazy actually if he keeps switching back and forth through time, because this is what I actually wanted from Erased. I'm not gonna lie, having a continuous movement like this, Like he can continuously go back and forth and like bring his friends into helping him.
Right, yeah, because in a race there was no help. There was, he's here, he has to figure it out.
And he's just stuck.
Yeah, he's stuck. Yeah.
This he can actually move back with like shaking, I guess, like the brother's hand.
I am not a big fan of the brother.
He's kind of generic right now.
Yeah, he's a generic. Yeah, I'm just and then so there are a few things, right? Like with the whole brother situation, it's like, is that
you just believe them?
Yeah, okay, dude, that was nuts. He was explaining it, and I was expecting him to not believe him, or at least have that anime moment of like, hey, are you kind of crazy? Do you need like some help? Something like that. And he just believes.
He's like, no, he's like, yep, that's it. You're right.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, even my closest relatives, if they came to me and they're like, yo, this is nuts from the future, like, there might be a little bit of me that could believe it, of like, what if this is true? But I would not just immediately be like, okay, I gotta change my life. I gotta, oh, you say July 1st.
It's like, my man literally changed like 12 years of his life. He's like, dude, like 12 years?
Yeah.
So,
he like
dedicated. My man could
dedicated.
have been like, yo, but like, for real though? Like he's like, you kidding? No, 12 years, dude. Like, what?
Yeah. Isn't that like he dedicated
like
his life to becoming a cop?
like, yo, he's like, remember you said to me 6 years ago? Yeah, I meant it. It's like, what? You're still going on with this?
Yeah.
It's like, he's like, no, serious. The most serious I've ever been. There's no like ever like doubt.
Yeah, there's none. It's like, okay, you told me this, we're going.
I think it's because he just saved his life. It could be something with that, but even then, it's kind of ridiculous.
Sure, yeah, and then you could be like, oh, he's kind of a dumb kid, something instilled very early on, like, But then, like, on top of that, and I get it, right? Because like it's an anime, they need some sort of just thing to kind of have this all work. But like that moment, him like shaking his hand. So now from now on, that's the only way he can go back and forth in time, is shaking this man's hand.
Yeah.
That is so ridiculous.
But it's like again, like the potential for it to actually work with like the power like of going back, have his friends do stuff, and then like manipulate the future that way, and then slowly like work your way back.
You know how much of a hassle that is?
But he's like, already doing it.
He now has to find, because right now he's in before time.
Yeah.
He went to that girl's house to find him, couldn't find him, and then left. And I get it, right? That was development. That was him being like, at first trying to run away, but after he talked to her, he's like, oh, I can't run away. I gotta do this. I get that. But you have to, the only way to go forward and backward in time is to find this man and shake his hand. Like, I thought when that moment happened and they shook his hand and like there was like a special effects and everything, in my mind I was like, okay,
that like a time limit, or like
it was either a time limit, right, or it was like he just made a different decision, in his life than the one he made previously. Like that right there was an important moment, and now that the moment wrapped up, then we click and we go back and see how that affected it. I thought it was because like a moment just happened, like he changed the past and now he gets to go back, go to the future. But no, it's just because he like coincidentally touched his hand, and now that's the trigger for all of time now.
Let me hear this. Like, if like what happens if you refuse, then he never can go back. Unless shaking your hand. Get this out of here.
Ew.
Ew, gross.
Dude, it's COVID. You can't shake hands.
Yo, it's so funny to me. But like, shaking the hand, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I kind of wanted something like this for my race though. A race like, because it just felt like he was trapped there, and he's like, I'm doing everything, but it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, well, he can actually do some stuff and then dip and then come back and then.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like both methods. I think that the erase trapped method was cool because it built a lot of tension, and it did have a lot of like frustration of like,
it's like,
every
if I
single
die
time.
here, I die.
Yeah. And with this,
if I die here, I die. Well, that works for both actually, because death is.
If you die in the game, you die for real.
wait, hold up. Wait. So like, you're telling me, right? If he dies, he dies, right? But is it actually even possible for them to die because they were sent from the future back to the past?
Well, so here's the thing, right? Is like, I don't think his.
This is breaking time travel again.
Well, like, think like Back to the Future, right?
Mm-hmm.
You physically go through like a portal into the past, and you can meet your past self, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this, you can't do that.
You are your past self.
Exactly. It's like your mind, your conscience is time traveling. You know, so your physical being isn't going back. So I don't think. You know, it's not that if he died in the past, would he not be able to go back? It would be if he died in the past, there is no future because he's dead. You know?
It's like, what sucks to be you? Kidding
right.
me? Yeah, that's just all I got there for that.
I don't know. There was something else. I don't know. Shaking his hand, going back. And then with this, it's like, I do think that is, you know, a neat mechanic where he can go, you know, forward and backward and kind of report back and be like, okay, this is what happened. We got to change our strategy. I don't think, I mean, I guess I never really thought of that, but my initial thoughts were he isn't going to get anyone else to help him because the little brother is an anomaly and he somehow just believed time travel immediately. I don't think anyone in their right mind would believe it, you know, the same way that the brother did. I don't think if he tried to get like his friends to be like, hey, I need your help with this thing, you know, can you try to figure it out with me? You know, you kind of know the gang because we used to do that together. Like, I'm not sure that they would immediately buy into it. You know? Have you ever watched Steins Gate?
No.
Okay,
I really should.
Well, then never mind then.
I really should.
Well, I'll just say it in very general terms.
Critically acclaimed Steingate.
Steins Gate is really good. It is one of those anime that I found out after watching it. It's one of those shows that has like a fan base where like a section of it is very similar to Rick and Morty, where like there's that section of the fan base that's like, oh, if you don't like the show, it's just because you're not smart enough to like understand it, you know?
Damn, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Y'all be laughing with Pickle Rick.
Dude, Pickle Rick is crazy, you know? Classic. But in Stein,
Turn yourself into a pickle.
He did do that, dude. It was a whole episode too. Yeah, I'll say like very generally, you know, Steins Gate. It's like, oh, there's this thing, and it's wild to believe. No one's gonna believe this, and then slowly, they do kind of get help from people. So, I'm not sure how quickly he's gonna be able to get help, except for the little brother who just believes everything because he's just as dumb as a log, you know.
Listen, the only way you can do it, you just gotta convince him. Be like, dude, watch this, okay? It's like simple. You say something like, dude, like this crazy event's gonna happen in how many years? Then you go back to the future, right? And then the guy's gonna be like, oh my gosh, you were right, dude. He's like, now I gotta help you. It's like, so I did this and this and this for you. It's like, so now you gotta go back in time. And he still doesn't believe you in the past, but he's like, but he helped you in the future to get that help in the past.
So my issue with that, Ray, and I definitely think that you know that all makes sense. My kind of issue with this show, just from a general level, and I understand, right? It's a show. If everything worked out perfectly, there wouldn't be a show, right?
Yeah, of course.
But like, you're telling me that our man went back in time, told the little brother about time travel, and the little brother was like, "Got you. I'm gonna spend the next decade of my life becoming a cop, the best cop I can be to help, to get the resources, to be able to do whatever, to save my sister, right? That is my path." And there was no discussion to the little sister, or to the older sister. Now, I get him not going that day, or even in the next few years to discuss this, because time travel, wild thing to just accept. I don't think the older sister would immediately accept it. But you're trying to tell me that, let's just forget about all that. Let's go like the day before the festival, right? When everyone dies. You're a cop, right? And you've been a cop for years. You're trying to tell me that you couldn't just go to your sister and be like, hey, so like there's been some like talks around here, around like me with the guys, with
Gang
the girls,
violence.
the other people, and like something bad is gonna happen. Like even just lie. Even you just say that something bad's gonna happen. There's been rumors of like bomb threats during the festival. Like just lie, and then just convince her to be like, hey, me and all the other police are kind of telling our families.
Don't think it's safe.
Yeah, like hey, maybe like warn your families. Maybe don't go to the festival tomorrow. I know everyone wants to, but it's not safe. And you're trying to tell me that she would still push back. That that she would be like, no, I have to go. It's your younger brother, brother's name I don't remember. You just worry too much. I feel like if you just lied a little bit, we could solve this easily instead of having to go back and forth in time dozens of times. Just warn the sister.
What's the magic power, dude?
But just tell the sister, hey.
Like imagine he's so big brain he forgets the small brain move.
Yeah.
It's like
too focused on the big picture.
It's like I gotta stop the gang. Small brain move. Hey, just don't go to the festival, please.
Yeah, just don't go.
There's thugs and stuff there.
So I have an even bigger brain play, Ray.
Okay.
Bigger brain play. Cut off the little brother's hand. Time travel with it. Unlimited power.
You can always time travel. It's like, oh, we got it, boys. We're in.
It's like, do you remember Infinity War, Ray? Avengers Infinity War are, a cult classic, right? It wasn't that popular to the masses, but
yeah, man, I watched that cult movie.
Yeah. Do you know how Doctor Strange had the time stone?
Yeah, the coveted time stone of legend, and even Thanos wanted it. He was a pretty underrated villain, by the way.
It'd be the same thing, dude. Our main boy here has the hand. That's the equivalent of the time stone. He can do anything.
It's like, just give me your hand. Actually, let me see if my foot works too.
What do you think happens if he shakes both hands?
He actually gets.
Do you think he can get sent back 24 years in the past?
I was gonna say he gets sent to like the train dimension or something. I don't know.
Back to like the mirror dimension where you can't affect reality.
Yo, that's crazy. Like, imagine like he was. First of all, it's wild to think like this is my problem I have with like Japanese media, where I always wonder about like happening. Like, who pushes someone at like a train station when they're like that far? You would pull them in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is there any? Did they?
And if anyone pushed someone, like, there's cameras everywhere. Like, dude, you just got caught. Like, they're not gonna like.
Did they give us a hint at all who did that, or was that just a random?
No. It's a random guy. Was it some guy who's with the gang? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, yeah. And like also the problem with like any time and like any school, like I think Silent Voice paints it like nicely how like the school system is, or how like it would be. But like, I find it like terrible when like teachers just neglect people for no reason though. It's like, you mean there's like rumors of like this kid being bullied and like no one like talks about it. It's like, this kid be bullied. You were in the class. You were watching them bully this kid. And you're just gonna let it happen.
Yeah.
Like most Japanese media like throws it like super high. And, like, I'm like, this is crazy. Like, is it really like that bad, or are they just like hyping it up for anime?
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that too, because it's even like with this whole gang stuff. Like, again, I don't know if this is just an anime trope, if this also happens in Japan itself, but like all the gang stuff, it's like these middle schoolers destroyed these younger middle schoolers, right?
It's like no one's like looking out for this. Like they're doing this in like a public area. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No one's like looking at this and being like, maybe there's a problem with this. And, like, call the police, have them break it up.
Yeah, I mean, wasn't it also during school time, because that's when kids would be at school? Is school time?
Again, it's wild. It's wild. Think about it.
And like, I get that, like, teachers...
It's a public park. No one else is in the park.
Yeah.
No one. Not one person.
It's wild. I don't
Dude,
get it.
I have to really like suspend my disbelief in anime sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like A Silent Voice was like, okay, like the bullying was like noticed. You know what I mean? And like they reported it. But in like the teacher was like, I don't care. You know what I mean? He's like, about you. He's like, you bullied her, so why would I care if they bully you the same way? No, that's just mean.
Which is not okay. That is not.
That's not okay. It's like, weren't you bullying her? So he like, I guess the teacher was like, this is my vengeance. You know, like you were bullying her, so like of course you're gonna get bullied. So he just didn't do anything, which is just rude, by the way. Just always like, it shouldn't matter.
It's also not like your decision. You know, like you don't get to decide. Like, all right, well, here's your revenge. You know, like you deserve this. Like I don't think that's true. I think it's also happening in your classroom. Like you should have, from the very jump, you should have had control of your class. And you know, you can't control what kids do outside of your class, like in the halls or anything like that. But
if you see it though, like you're like
one of the craziest shots from early on in Silent Voice, because now we're just talking about Silent Voice, is that when the kid like pulls the like ear thing
out of her ear, yeah,
and like she starts bleeding a little bit, and I'm like, are you gonna do something about this? Like,
no,
you know, this is more than.
Or
just
like when like they draw on like the desk, it's like, dude, like you could like literally like, this could be stopped.
There's evidence. These are dumb kids. They left evidence.
It's like, yeah, they're writing on a desk. Like, obviously, if they're doing that, like, you should not let anyone leave the class until someone like confesses, or like be like, if you see this again, like the entire class will be punished.
Yeah, and it's like not even like these, or at least some of them, they weren't even hiding it. They were just doing it and not getting any consequences. You know, it wasn't like a mystery as to who was doing it. I mean, like with the writing on the desk, you know, you can't. But like with the actual physical bullying, like it's you. Like I see you.
It's like, stop. Like that's what she used to hear. Like, are you?
Yeah. This classroom is not that big. You know. Wild. Okay, so then my we're only 2 episodes in, but you know where I think the show is going is I definitely think they're going for he's gonna try to gain their like respect. You know, he's gonna be like, oh, instead of this, why don't I fight you? And like he's obviously gonna lose, right? Like there's no way he's gonna beat him.
Who knows? I think he's gonna lose, but honestly, it's like a part of me is like, maybe he actually wins. So I feel like if he loses, like I feel like this man's gonna die, right? Or like maybe like there's like an ounce of respect that he gets for him during this fight, which is just a classic anime move, by the way.
Yeah, which is what I'm thinking, where it's like he's definitely gonna lose. He's not even gonna come close. But there's gonna be a little twinkle in the leader's eyes of like, no one has ever challenged me before, you know? And
like because like it's just a bet though, so I just want to see him like win. I think that would be ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It's like he wins by like a fluke, like he like trips him and like he gets like knocked out, and it's like,
ooh, yeah. The leader is like too arrogant, you know, so he messes with him a little bit, you know, and then he trips up. That could happen.
Same. It's like he doesn't win by like the fall, but like a bet's a bet, dude, and you lost, so like
you lost. He just pulls out a bat, you know, gets his revenge.
Pulls out a gun. Got this Mac 9. Brought this from the future to get you.
That would be nuts.
Get.
I think if that happened, they should just end the season. It should just be 3
over.
episodes.
You've already peaked. You don't even know.
That'd be nuts.
Actually, that's actually a big thing like Weathering With You had with the gun. You know, like guns aren't like really like big like crimes in Japan.
Yeah.
It's like having like the smuggled gun in Weathering With You is like a really big thing.
Yeah, because it's not America, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Like I could go down the street and get a gun.
I
could actually grow them in my garden. Different varieties.
All the gun flowers. So
they're bullet seeds. Anyway.
For kind of a long-term prediction for this one, Ray, do you think that he ends up saving the sister? Or, well, yeah, the sister, but his girl. I hope
he does, dude. I want happiness. I want this guy to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He just seems like an unfortunate guy.
Yeah, man. I think that he grows. I think that it would be nice if he ends up saving.
Obviously, like it was his like bad decisions, like being in middle school, right? That caused it. But like, from there on, it was just unfortunate decision after unfortunate decision, really.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how dark they get with it, because it's like, will it be one of those where it's like, oh, the girl is saved, but he ends up dying, you know? But yeah, I definitely would at the end like him to save the girl, because even if he goes through a bunch of growth and the girl still dies, I think that'd be disappointing. It's like kind of like, what's the point of the show then? You know, it's weird. Yeah, let's see. So next week, we're doing the Megalo Box and what's the other one? SNAFU.
Yeah, we need SNAFU and Megalo Box. 2 more episodes of each. 4 episodes on the rise.
Making some headway in that.
Then the week after that, I'm gonna plan on doing again. It's better that way, just to do 2 and 2. I think it feels nicer and smoother.
Yeah, same, definitely.
Because sometimes one episode isn't enough. Doubling up feels nice.
Yeah, definitely feels slower too.
Not having to wait every week, just every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I probably won't get too deep into this, Ray, but I would like to update you on some of the other shows I'm watching. I won't spoil anything for anything that you want to watch or anything like that, but let's see. I started watching 86.
Ooh.
Pretty good. It's pretty started off pretty standard, like sci-fi kind of thing, like a little bit of military as well.
I heard they spelled out the show and they put the numbers. That's crazy.
They did, yeah. Just in case you don't know how to pronounce the number 8 and the number 6, here you go. I am getting, I don't know how much you know about 86, but I am getting a lot of like, and I never finished it because I stopped when we stopped watching it. But I'm getting a lot of like IBO vibes.
Yeah, Gundam. Yeah, I was gonna bring up IBO. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should actually finish that at a different time.
Yeah, dude. I would love to, cause yeah, that one and the what was the other one we did? We did he was doing like the like tile game. What's that game? Shoji, right? Is that the?
Oh yeah, Tsurugatsu. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to finish both of those because I think those both started off pretty strong.
Oh yeah, some people like say Sangatsu.
Sangatsu.
Because it's the Japanese pronunciation, but 3gatsu's fine. Don't make fun of me. I know some purists being like, why aren't you saying the full Japanese name Sangatsu?
Well, I'm not Japanese, so
I'll say 3gatsu because it's a number. It shouldn't matter. You understand it.
You know what it means.
What it is.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I think that there's kind of like 2 stories being told. There's like the one with the main girl who's like not really super interesting. I don't really like that story too much. But then the one when, again, it gives me Gundam vibes of a bunch of the people who are part of that 86 troop, and they like, see their lives, their relationships, what they're going through. Very, very tough lives they live, So I think that's, I hope that they focus more on that going forward. But yeah, I think it's a really strong start. And then I'll do My Hero next. Is like, because I have 3. I have My Hero, and then I also have the I Shaved and Brought a Girl Home.
Of course, classic. Tata's got to be on that ROM.
And I'm coming in hot when it comes to that show, because there's some issues I have. So
there are some things that you have to hold your disbelief for in that show.
There's just
I really understand, but I also feel like some of them is just like, well, some of the things that you're done is just like the normal human thing to do if you're as compassionate as the main character, I guess.
Right. So real quick, I just want to talk about My Hero. You read My Hero, right?
I haven't read it in a while, so I've been like really holding back. But I think I'm like where the anime is. So yeah, just hit me with it. Okay, because that's we're like really getting into like Shinzo, the dude who can like brainwash people. So like that's like one of the 2 cool aspects. Got this his character. They made his quirk OP, and then they nerfed it, and then they made it OP in just 1 episode. It was crazy. That like little mask thing he has is cool. So. I know what you're talking about. I just remembered what that arc was. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like the villain arc we were doing, like, where you follow like the villains for a while. Or no?
I haven't seen none of that yet. I'm only like a few episodes in, so I'm sure as it goes on. But yeah, like that's the one big thing that they're doing, and the other big thing they're doing is really delving into. I forgot what name they use. There's like a name like a specific term, but it's the previous one for alls. You know how like
Okay.
he's like now dreaming about them a lot more, and he's even experiencing things with them. It's kind of like, I don't know if you ever watched this, Ray, but there's a show called Avatar, and if you're the Avatar, when you're the Avatar, unless you're Korra, you can talk to the previous avatars, right?
That's crazy.
I guess that was a Korra spoiler, but I don't care. It's like this, where Deku can talk to the previous whatever's. Well, not exactly
Can
the
he
same.
talk to All Might in his head?
What happened?
Can he talk to All Might in his head?
He didn't. I don't think he did talk to him. Although I could be misremembering. I do know the only one thing I do remember about that is that he was like, "Oh yeah, I saw you, but like you were kind of fuzzy." That's all I remember. But yeah, and then he's like talking to him, and All Might is like, "Oh man, they told you stuff that they never told me. That's wild." Then like All for One's gonna come back somehow. I'm sure. That's what what they're leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is cool to see more of the other class though. I like Class 1A, of course, but it's nice seeing other characters.
Class 1B though be hitting different sometimes.
Yeah. 1B so far. We haven't finished the tournament they're having yet, but they are pretty cool. Yeah, so that's my hero.
You reminded me of where you were, and
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so the very last thing I'll talk about my hero is that one character who has the vines, like vine hair, and she can control vines. That's her power.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's been a while, dude. Like, she seems like pretty minor, but like, yeah, go on.
Okay, because like in this first fight, she's like crazy OP because she can control a million vines, and she can grab people, and it's scary because there's thorns on them. Her character is ridiculous. She's weirdly I don't know. She has a lot of religious stuff inspired into her, I guess. She's always praying. She's talks in Bible verses.
Makes sense. Having vines, thorns, thorny crown.
Yeah, and
it just makes sense.
I understand the character. It's just why does this character exist? I feel uncomfortable whenever she's there. I don't like it, because then the whole mood changes, and I'm like, this is weird. I don't know what's going on with this character. Yeah, so my hero pretty good. It's fine so far. So there's a show called it's I shaved and then I brought a girl home, right?
Yeah.
This show coming in hot because there is so many things about this show that is ridiculous.
Yeah. Think about how many red flags you can find just in the first episode, and then after that you can spend this belief.
There's so many, dude, and just the biggest one. It wasn't until maybe I missed it, right? I miss things often, but it wasn't until the third episode until I finally learned how old she was. Because the first two episodes,
school, yeah.
What happened?
She's in high school, she's mad young.
Yeah, she's in high school. And I knew she was young, but for the first two episodes, I was like, okay, this is a nice thing you're doing, I guess, fundamentally. But this isn't okay, right? The whole time, the whole first two episodes, I was like, this can't go anywhere, because we don't know how old she is, and I'm pretty sure she's too young. And just the whole I was going crazy watching it because I was like, I think the show is cool. I think that it's going in a nice direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the whole time I was like, I don't know if I should be watching this. I feel weird watching this,
I don't know how far they do it in the light novels or whatever. But as far as I knew going in, I shouldn't have worded it that way. But as far as I knew going. My experience in the series is that it's strictly a platonic feeling he has.
Right, so we do kind of get that feeling. Of course there's a few moments where he just can't help it, he has a weird thought and then he looks away or whatever, but in the third episode she really goes for it, and it's different than the first episode, because the first two episodes is just, this is who she is, this is how she survived, I guess, so far. So she's just doing it out of it's just automatic for her, right? But then the third episode, by this point it seems she is actually falling in love with him, and then she goes all the way, right? And he's and even after all that, he's still no, I'm not in love with you. I'm not doing this. Go put a shirt on or whatever. And then the scene ends, and it's like, okay, he has, he's already set it up to this point of like what his intentions are, but now it's like clear. It's like a brick wall. It's like this is not happening.
I have no intention whatsoever.
Yeah.
At least at this point in time.
Yeah, and I do like that. I do like that. That is where we're at right now. Like three episodes in, that's where I'm at, and the intentions are rock solid. Like they very clear. It's out in the open. He likes her, but I don't know. I think it's more of like a mentor type
daughter
thing.
type of thing.
Yeah, even a daughter. Yeah, where I mean, he even makes a joke where he's like, yeah, I don't really have a lot of friends. I live alone, so like you being here is nice, and like now I get to help you in a way I've never been able to really help someone before, And he is kind of like taking pity on her too, which, I'm sure she doesn't like that aspect of it, but, he is helping her grow and be a better person and actually finding the value within herself, rather than just surviving, which sucks, for anyone to have to do that, have to live their life that way.
Yep.
But there are some other things, right? So even that's like the biggest thing. I think we've gotten over that. I'm sure there'll be moments.
By now, I'm pretty sure it's like, okay, like, you understand that he's just being a nice guy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there'll be moments
the
in
nicest
anime.
Guy.
There'll be some moments here and there that are just like, a little quick thing of like, huh? But then it'll quickly get brushed away because, there's some other things like, that one girl that he liked and he confessed to. At this point, I feel like she's trying to get back in with him, and I hate it because I'm like, no, like you said no, you said no twice actually. You don't deserve to see someone grow and then go back after them. In my opinion, I don't like that.
It's like, well, the circumstances has changed.
Yeah,
ultimately, it's up to him though if he wants to. If he wants to say yes or no. But it's like mad funny. It's like, well. You became a millionaire overnight. Well.
So I guess.
Did I call you ugly yesterday? I'm really sorry. Deeply sorry.
I meant, how like I just remember it being a big thing in like grade school, learning how, was it grade school? I don't know, but like when you needed to add a word into a sentence, you would put like a little caret, and you put the word.
Yeah.
It's like this, where she's like, did I say ugly? I meant not ugly.
It's like, not ugly.
Yeah, and then I do like the relationship that's building with the coworker. I guess she seems to actually genuinely like him, and he's not there yet because that's his character, classic. Main
dense
character.
MC.
Yeah, dense and just like it's not working out. But she was like strangely okay with the high schooler living with him. Because like he, the those two like met in the park or whatever, and then like he came and was like, oh, where have you been? I was worried. And then the coworker was like, whoa, do you live together? Is she your daughter? And then like he quickly explained it, and she was just like, all right, yeah, that sounds cool. And then she left, and I was like, I feel like that's not quite as close to the whole little brother believing in time travel thing, but it's still kind of weird to just accept that.
It's like, I mean, like, imagine like you're like, yeah, that's happening, and you walk away. That's how I feel it. It's like, yeah, right.
but like Ray, how old are you, Ray?
Me? Disclose my age. I'm above the age of 21.
Okay. So like, if you came to me one day, no idea where this is going. If you came to me one day and I saw you with like a 16-year-old, right? And you were just like, nah, like, I'm just taking care of her. She's just living with me. Like, we're friends, but I would still be I would be kind of weirded out by that. I'd be like, you need to explain this a little bit more to me, because that's
To be
not
fair though, I think if
natural.
I said that to you, though, the funniest thing would be like, you'd be like, you know, Raymond, I kind of can believe you.
Like, I personally would believe you, but it's still not like a
It's
normal
in that realm of
situation.
disbelief. You'd be like, listen, Raymond, you're telling me the truth, right? But like, why? It's the weirdest
It's still
situation.
weird. It's still like this isn't a normal thing to do. Like I don't know, because I was thinking about it at first. And I was like, okay, well, I can meet anyone on the street and just like be roommates with them, right? And no one will look at any, it won't be weird. To be two adults living together, roommates. But she's not an adult, and that's what makes it weird. You know?
Yes.
It's like, at this point, is it kidnapping? Even though it's not?
You gotta see. You gotta wait to find out. There's anything like that. Yeah.
But like, to just cap it off, this is the last thing I have to say about this crazy show, is that her parents, from what she's told us, didn't really care. So, I'm not really mad at her not wanting to go back to them, if her parents didn't really care about her. So that's a very, very unfortunate situation.
But it do be like that sometimes.
It does, yeah.
I can say I've never experienced it though, so I can't relate completely. But
Sure.
like that sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
Unfortunately, that's just the straw that you got dealt, and
Yeah.
I can't help you there, Chief.
Yeah, so
But what I can do is, if you're like under the age of 16, I can let you into my house and take care of you.
Okay, so if you do that, right, I'm gonna need to find a new co-host, because I'm not gonna be comfortable. Even though I would believe you, and it'd be really funny is if like this is never gonna happen, right? Like this is a dumb bit, but like if you did ever do this in real life, I love the idea of you being like, nah, but like, do you remember that one anime? It's just like
that. I do for like real though. She robbed me like 10 weeks later, dude. It wasn't nice.
Oh my god. Yeah, so I'll keep watching this. Keep you posted, Dre, on what's going on. It's crazy. I did read the Stripping the Flesh manga that you said, and I thought it was pretty good.
That's a nice little one shot.
Yeah, I like how you set it up. With the whole perspective thing on transgender. And yeah, I thought it was good. Again, like it's nice to read stuff like that or watch it or whatever. Gives you new perspective. It opens you up to experiences in the world that you're just not familiar with. And
like, even though I myself would never understand, I thought it was a good representation of what it would be like.
Right. Yeah, like yeah, like I wouldn't be able to confirm it, but it does feel like it was very respectful of the subject matter, and
it seemed that it was very knowledgeable as well.
Yeah, and I totally understand people not liking the dad, because he wasn't very accepting of.
But it was more like he was like more overly protective.
Right. Yeah, which is what I kind of got from, especially like the second half of the story, where the first half it was just like he didn't seem like he just didn't seem accepting, but then the second half it was like, okay, revealing more about like how he accidentally shot him in like the shoulder or whatever, and then like I'm not sure how explicit it was, but like the mom's gone. I'm not sure if the mom died. I'm assuming that's what happened. So like all that kind of
anime moms.
What was that?
Classic anime moms.
Yeah, classic. Is this a Disney film? And then so
for a really long time. He's still alive, dude. It's like, this ain't no Disney movie. He would have been dead already.
Yeah, he would have. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, just like you're just kind of mixing all that together, and by the end he does start reading the book, and he even asks like, okay, like, is there any, do you want me to call you by a different name, or something like that, and I thought all that was very nice. I thought that was a nice like just growth for his character. Again, it's only a one shot, but there was so much growth for just the dad in these like 80 pages or whatever. And you know, again, I think that he was wrong for not fully accepting his child, because I feel like you should, unless your child is like rapes people or like murders. I feel like that's like bad. But like
it's like, only those two things though.
Only those two things. There's nothing, everything else you can accept. Yeah, I just feel like for what your child identifies as like a human, I feel like you should still be accepting. But by the end of it, I think he eventually worked his way around, and it was nice.
And it's not like the main character, like he you know, like was like, it's more like he wanted that change so he can be with his father.
Right, yeah, which was another interesting aspect of it, right? Because he was always kind of raised more like as like a traditional boy instead of a girl, and you know, with like the hunting and stuff, and so, you know, yeah, that was to kind of fix their relationship in a way, I guess. But it was nice because like by the end, he seemed happy. His friend, who was super supportive the whole way, you know, shout out to him. Awesome friend. He seemed happy, so it was nice. It was a nice little story. Yeah, man.
It's a good one shot.
Yeah. And Ray, I don't know how you do it, Ray, but you seem to just know, you know, or like I guess maybe you just have read so much that it's just like a numbers game. But I feel like you just seem to know what manga are gonna get anime adaptations. Like I don't
or
know
like
how
which
you
ones are
do
gonna be like bangers, you know what I mean? Like it's just like a,
yeah.
it's just like it's more like when you get a feel for reading them, you just like,
yeah.
damn, this is gonna be like crazy when it actually gets done.
Because like I already talked to you about it, but like that doll show, I don't remember the full name, but like
Shadow's House,
yeah, it's a great manga for one, and then it recently just got announced that it's getting an anime adaptation, and it's like, that'll be cool. I'll be excited.
Yeah, Shadow's House is out right now.
What happened?
Shadow's House is out right now. What was that, another manga? Which one?
For Shadow House? What are you talking about?
Shadow's House is out right now.
Yeah,
manga.
Are you talking about like in general?
Yeah, in general. Was there another one that you were thinking of?
Well, like I mean the like Nagatoro show.
Nagatoro is gonna happen eventually, dude.
That one also came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say Chainsaw Man because
Chainsaw Man is gonna be coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, Chainsaw.
But that's like coming out by Mappa, and that's gonna be like high quality animation they're gonna pump in. But Chainsaw Man, it's done. It's ended. I haven't finished it yet though.
Yeah. Or even like going back to, I think this was one of the first ones you ever recommended me was Horimiya, and that just recently got a adaptation.
That came out of left field, dude. I didn't think it was actually gonna get animated. I thought it was gonna be manga forever and like stay there. But Horimiya getting animated is crazy, and then the manga of course ended as well. When I would have banged.
Yeah, I'm not caught up in that one. I think that's like the one manga that I'm currently reading that I'm not caught up in, but everything else I'm caught up in. Okay, well, except for Spy Family, but that's because the extension that I had was like not working and it stopped updating for like a year. Didn't realize it. Yeah.
I sent you the list of extensions to look out for.
Yeah. I like added a bunch of them and migrated a bunch of stuff, cleaned it up, you know.
I really should catch up on it more. Spy Family, because I think I'm like 2 or 3 chapters behind now. So I did do a catch up. Oh, I have other stuff too. It's pretty good. Can't wait for Spy Family to get the adaptation, because you know it's going to get the adaptation.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think I talked to you about this. Maybe I didn't, but yeah, there was like, they like registered social media accounts for Spy Family, and it's like
getting ready, yeah.
Yeah, like that only happens when manga, yeah, when manga or light novels are getting ready to put out an anime, because it's like, you know, the anime will be widespread, you know.
Or like maybe, you know, like they're like, if it turns out they didn't get accepted, they're like, well, we just use it for advertising the manga now.
Yeah.
Sad life.
I think there was There's been more that's getting adaptations. I can't think of them though.
So I think I'm pretty much on the money for the most part, which is crazy.
I'd like one of the ones cause I already said it, but recently I've been getting back into manga and I've like caught up in all the current ones. One of the ones I do really like is oh man, see now I don't know the name of it. It's the one where the main character is like goes to Hokkaido, you know how you say it, and like she's from Tokyo, and he meets this girl, and the girl's
the
like
Hokkaido gals and the manga, that one.
Yeah, it's like you know, she's like super outgoing and he's like not really, and then they like fall in love. It's crazy, nuts, and then like the grandma
Hokkaido,
super strict.
Hokkaido gals manga. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And then I just met the mom. The mom is crazy. The mom's like, nah, you're coming back. And he's like, nah.
A lot of people hated that arc. I didn't read actually. I've been holding back on it. I've read a lot of people saying they hate the arc, but I think they said that they ended that arc too. So it's gonna be all good now.
Yeah, I mean there was some redemption there. I get it, right? You're a mom. You're protective of your children, right? It makes sense. But like it's still like, come on.
The best girl's the one who plays Smash anyway.
Sure, yeah. Hold on. She attempted to confess, but it didn't work out. And it's not because he said no or yes. It's just the way she confessed was really funny, and there wasn't really an answer given. And I just enjoyed that.
It reminds me of Silent Voice all over again, dude. It's like she confesses, and he's like, "Yeah, the moon's real pretty tonight." It's like,
yeah,
pain.
Just a big misunderstanding.
Pain. The more I think about Silent Voice, the more I'm like, how good is this actually? And I'm like, it's really good. It's like really good.
It's so.
Because we keep talking about it, and I'm like, I keep going back and thinking about the scenes, and I'm like, dude, it's like really good.
It really is, dude. Like, you know, like I always say it too. Like, you know, when I put aside my like Ghibli bias, because Ghibli's just amazing. Silent Voice is really like one of the best, if not, it's really one of the best anime movies of all time. It's probably up there for just animated as well. Just like one of the best animated films ever. It's just, the story is so good. It's so compelling, you know. And then it has a nice ending, you know. It doesn't like fall apart in the end. It's like, oh, like this kind of makes sense, you know.
Then both the anime and the manga, the endings make sense for like what they were going for.
Yeah, so which is like super rare, you know. That like one of them doesn't mess it up, you know.
It's like the manga has like its own ending that's like, okay, that's fine. And then the anime cuts it early, but it still fits what it was going for entirely. And I'm like, yes. We live in a society where like...
You gotta stop. I don't want you to continue that. Did you see that there was that trailer of the Joker saying we live in a society, and then they tried to deny that existed? Do you remember that happened? And they were like, no, that's not a part of the movie. And they were like, no, but we saw it in the trailer though. Like, why?
Live in a society.
Like why is it in the movie? And then they're like, oh no, it was cut out. I'm like, well, why was it in the movie? Or why was it in the trailer?
Why was it? Because like they were planning, I guess I'm putting it. That's the thing with movies though, like at least some movies, like they cut scenes and all that stuff, and they're like,
but like this,
I know Marvel does it on purpose though. Like Marvel's like, we'll film extra scenes on purpose to put them in the trailer.
They're so good with that.
Marvel, I'm like, these are like high level trolls right here. Filming these scenes and then like purposely cutting them. They're like, this is just for the promo. I'm like, oh yeah.
I know that makes sense.
You gotta make it look as good as you can.
Yeah, man.
I can't really say what I'm watching because I was watching Zombieland Saga Revenge for this season. So that's a sequel show, so I can't really go into that.
Right, yeah. I do have a bunch of other shows that I'm planning to watch. I just haven't got around to them yet because, you know, this season is actually pretty strong. Like this season might be stronger than last season.
Stacked. I said it, man. Stacked. Like, again, like Nagatoro to Your Eternity, My Hero, High School Home, Tokyo Revengers, obviously. I keep making fun of Shaman King, but of course. slime season, whatever, 2, 3. Or no. This is not the slimes. This is the slimes.
Yeah,
Not sequel, but the slime spinoff.
Yeah.
Fruits Basket ending, Zombieland, Megalo Box, Eden Zero, Shadow's House. Oh, I've been watching a little bit of Danazanon. Haven't caught up though. It's a great spin.
I actually looked back yesterday and I never finished Gridman. I got like halfway through it. Yeah, I'll have to finish Gridman and then watch the new one because
you should finish Gridman.
Because apparently there is some like connection to it. You know, it's not just like, oh, it's in the same universe. Like there is some stuff that you might not understand if you don't watch Gridman.
Yeah, it all makes sense. Look at Gridman.
Yeah.
Like what's happening. Gridman it's honestly sleeper trigger because it's sleeper and how good it is.
Honestly, most.
Really tell you.
I mean, for me personally, like Trigger almost never misses. You know, like.
I look back on Darling in the Franxx and I feel a pain in my.
Okay, but like,
heart.
my defense of Darling in the Franxx is that most of that show for me, pretty good.
Was a hit.
Yeah, was like a hit. It was only the last like 3 episodes that were like, okay, I don't agree with this. They should have ended this differently.
The last 3 episodes are like, what is happening? But then like the manga apparently is better on the ending, so like maybe we should read the manga for Darling.
I'll have to read the manga then. Did they make the manga after the show? Cause
they were making it while they were making it.
During, okay. Cause yeah, I know like isn't like every Trigger production original?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The manga pretty much follows. I think for the most part, it goes into it and then maybe has more detail.
Yeah, I might have to read that then. I didn't know that, or maybe I forgot that they were doing a manga too.
I heard the manga.
Oh yeah.
To redeem it.
I read is Little Witch Academia Trigger?
Yeah.
Or is that someone that is them? Yeah, I know that's been on my list forever because it just looks like a nice show.
I just haven't watched it yet, you know. I do plan on watching it because like they got the movies as well.
Yeah, they do.
But like I understand like after watching Evangelion, dude, Darling in the Franxx really gets that Evangelion vibes.
Oh yeah.
It all makes sense, dude.
I do have to. So for Evangelion, there's movies and there's a show, right?
Yeah. So like recommendation, you watch like all of the original series, and then you watch Evangelion: Death and Rebirth. Okay. Or like End of Evangelion, I guess they call it. And then you don't watch the newer movies because newer movies are a spin-off. Spin-off, quote unquote. So it's an alternate storytelling. So
then what about, isn't there a new one like 3 plus?
Yeah, that's a part of the alternate, yeah.
Okay. And then isn't that supposed to be like it? Like they're ending it after that?
That's the last one as of right now. That's the finale for like the new one.
Okay. Are there talks of like, nah, we're gonna do it again with some other spin-off or whatever?
Maybe. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but like the new one has different characters and it builds on what was already there. It's like from like a big brain perspective. You know what I mean? You want to dive into the originals.
I always mix up Evangelion with Code Geass.
I used to do it until I watched at least both of them, and now I understand. Code Geass is basically like this guy got magic eyeballs.
Oh, nice.
Evangelion's again the robot Shinji.
Yeah, because I think we did watch the first episode in club, maybe, because I remember getting in the robot. But yeah, that's good.
I think Evangelion needs like the first, when you say like how you start like episodes, like I think Megalo Box, to watch Megalo Box you have to watch like the first 2. You know what I mean? Deciding whether you want to watch it or not. Okay. I think Evangelion, you gotta start the first 3 to see if you want to continue or not.
Well, yeah, I think that for most anime, for me anyway, that that is kind of standard, where it's like watch the first 3 episodes, and then you'll know if you want to continue or not.
Like a 3-episode rule is pretty big. Like what is it, like Fate Zero? You're not gonna know if you want to watch Fate Zero by the first episode, dude. You're like, it was just an hour of exposition.
yeah, I was gonna say, I remember watching the first episode of Fate Zero, and I was like, this is a lot. This is a lot of
For
stuff.
exposition, if you're not like invested, dude, you're like, what's happening? It's a lot of world building you do in that single hour, though. Meanwhile, you can just toss anyone into like Fate Blade Works, Fate Heavens Feel, and you'll be like, they'll be relatively, you know, good. They'll explain as they go on, but then obviously if you don't watch Fate Zero, it's a little bit of like, okay, I'm kind of missing the bigger picture here. But that's normal.
Are there any big anime, like, however you want to interpret that, like popular or famous or whatever, that you haven't seen and you're like, man, I gotta get around to watching this at some point?
Steins Gate's like the big one that I know I haven't watched.
Steins Gate
Spice
is
and
good.
Wolf is like kind of big, I guess.
Spice and Wolf, yeah, I haven't seen that either.
I'll pull up an anime list
Because I have huge holes in my list when it comes to stuff like that, where it's like,
well, like most of the time I really should catch up on.
but like, you know, for me, even like I've never seen Death Note. It's like I should watch that at some point, you know, or
Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Akira. The Akira movie was such a letdown for me, you know.
Maybe we should just read the manga, which is apparently way better.
Should read the manga, yeah. I'll have to give that a try, because the movie was like, it looks really good, like it looks really good for how old
The
it
thing
is.
with the movie is like you can understand where like everything's coming from, like with future works. Like the reason why it's so acclaimed is because it set the standard, I guess, for animation or like what could be done.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, which is the problem with going back and watching classic stuff, where it's like trying to go back, for me anyway, to watch like classic films. It's like, oh no, but like if you go back and watch Citizen Kane, it's like this changed movies forever, and it's like, yeah, but I've seen things iterate upon that movie. So me going back and watch the original, I don't know if it'll have the same impact. Which I think is the issue with Akira, where it's like, when did that movie come out? Like 80 something, you know? And it's like, we've seen stuff iterate upon what Akira introduced to the industry. So like going back, you can appreciate it, but for me, I didn't particularly care about it, you know?
Like I was like kind of like, well, I wasn't watching it, I was watching my brother, and I was kind of like trashing on the movie with him simultaneously during some parts.
Yeah.
And then being like, kind of like, okay, well, why did this happen, or like, why are they doing this?
Yeah.
But like, I understand like why it's like, it's because the animation, I'm pretty sure. Like the story's decent. It's not like a bad story. It's a decent story. It's not truly awful. But it's just that we've seen better now.
To me, it's very similar to Avatar, but like James Cameron's Avatar. 'Cause it's like, I understand why this is important for the industry of like the animation and like how they're able to integrate everything. But like, it's really not that great of a movie. Like, it's just like okay. It's a fine story, but I understand why it's impactful. You know?
Yeah. No, I also understand that. Like James Cameron Avatar is a great example. It's a generic story. That's not bad though in this case, but a beautiful world.
Yeah.
Really painted in.
Which it will be interesting. I don't really have like interest levels for the Avatar sequels. For me, not very high, but it will be cool to see.
I have slight curiosity to see how they're going to do about it.
Yeah, like it'll be cool now to see what stories they are able to tell, and hopefully they're not super generic, as well as how much better they look, you know, than the first one, which is super acclaimed.
Dude, like watching a 3D movie like that was crazy because Avatar's like really big, and it was like the first big 3D movie. So when you watch in theaters, it was like crazy. Or, like this was like a testament to time, I guess, when you were first watching it.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Avatar in 3D in theaters. That's how I experienced it. And I was nuts.
I also watched Spy Kids in 3D in theaters.
I mean, you had to. I had I think I had Spy Kids 3D on probably DVD. It wasn't a VHS, right? That was too late. I don't know, but it did have the version when it came with the 3D glasses, and that was crazy. So it'd be like, hey, put them on now, and it's like, oh man, it's an interactive movie. This is world breaking. Never mind, doesn't matter. So yeah, Ray, You have anything else? Cause that's everything on my list. I'm good. So what's so next week, right? We're doing Coco. We're going back to Megalo Box and SNAFU 3 and 4. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Again, like the MCU's on break, so we'll return when Loki comes back, but that's what Coco's for, and then we'll
take the MCU glasses off, Pixar goggles back on.
Going back on, yeah. Yeah, and then obviously when that comes back, we'll get off the movies and go back to that, because Loki, super excited for that. Can't wait to see what that is.
If Loki turns out to be a disappointment, I don't know how I'd ever trust Marvel ever again.
It just can't be though, right? Because like WandaVision.
That's what you say, right? That's what we say, right? Like it can't be a disappointment. Like, but like you ever just have to pit a doubt though, and you're like, but like you can say that you 90% trust them.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a 10% chance this flops entirely. I don't know what they do.
Right.
But like the 90%'s there though. It's like I have most of my faith because I just can't have 100% faith in anyone these days.
Sure. Yeah. I would say mine's probably closer to like 97%. Because like I've been kind of running through the MCU again just because why not? And like even the worst movies they still have enjoyable moments. Even like Thor: The Dark World, the worst movie in the MCU. I watched that and I was like, I had fun. Just like really a lot of moments.
It's not an awful movie. It's just like, that's like,
yeah. There was some
wishy-washy,
fun times.
but that's what you got.
Yeah, so make sure you watch that stuff. I'm sure there'll be more stuff to talk about. I'll try to read. I'll try to maybe start some new manga.
Maybe I'll start some new manga. You never know.
Oh man.
Oh, I did start a new manga. Real quick, Dan the Dan.
Okay.
This manga is crazy. There's only 3 chapters out right now. I think you need to digest this. This one is one that you're gonna be like, "What is this?"
Can you put it in the chat or
chat,
message me or something?
It's gonna be Don, I think.
Okay.
That could be spelled wrong. There could be multiple D's, I think.
Sure. I'll Google it, and I'm sure you'll type in enough for me to find it.
Nope, that's it. Yep, that is it.
Okay. Is it some? Go ahead.
You're gonna love it.
Is it somehow related to that anime? I think it's an anime. This show's like a fever dream to me. I never heard anyone ever talk about it until Chris Spain mentioned it, and I was like, whoa, that show was real. That wasn't just like a hallucination I had. It's a show where it's like Bobobo-bo. It just says Bo a bunch.
Yo, Bobobo-bo-bobo.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on like super late at night, like Adult Swim or something, when they would do, or no, probably Toonami, because they would do like they would show the anime. I remember watching it and being like, is this show real? Like,
dude, this show, you're not wrong. This is an actual fever dream. I think Michael and I brought this up a couple times. Like, it's something that like lurks in like the recesses of your mind, and like you forgot about it, but then like you remember it all of a sudden. It very much, the closest thing I could compare to Westernly is something like Aqua Teen Hunger Force, with like the type of chaos energy it has.
Sure, yeah, I get that. Yeah, it's just like this isn't a real show, right? Like this is just a.
It's like so real. I don't even know how many bows there are in the name, but it's just a bunch of bows. Okay.
There's a bunch, yeah.
It's real. It's like people remember that one, and then it's always a Virtuous Joe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that rings any bells in you. Virtuous Joe. Or no, it's Beautiful Joe.
Okay.
Oh, you know who made this?
Who?
Yo. This is crazy. Beautiful Joe, dude. This is Hideki Kamiya, dude. I think this is the guy who just bans people on Twitter.
His claim to fame.
Yo, it is! Beautiful Joe, the guy who's like the big guy who blocks people on Twitter whenever they talk to him.
Mhm. That's funny.
But like the thing is, like, he's good at like the games he's made. Like he's worked on. Let me see here if I can find it. Like Resident Evil, Devil May Cry.
Okay.
He was a part of Clover Studio that made Okami. He worked on Zelda games. He works on Platinum, so he made help with Bayonetta, helping more Devil May Cry again. Wonderful 101 was working to do a Star Fox.
Is Astral Chain Platinum?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was like probably their newest
Worked
game.
on
right?
Astral Chain. Worked on Phoenix Wright.
Okay.
You know, he's big. You know, like this guy is like, again, like probably his most like critically acclaimed games, of course, are Resident Evil, original Devil May Cry. I think I guess you'd throw Okami or like Bayonetta. You know what I mean? Like the big ones that he's done. But like seriously, like this guy's got like a good library of things that he's helped like start up and like they've become like bigger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, this guy's great, but like he just bans people. Wait a minute, he was unblocking people for the Wonderful 101 Remastered Edition?
Oh man.
Wait, he had it as a stretch goal apparently, where like if you bought it and you were blocked by him, he would unblock you.
Oh man. It's worth
He's
it.
wild.
He lives for chaos.
It's like you can't speak to him in English because he's like, you speak to me in English, it's an instant block. And he's like, you speak to me in bad Japanese, you're getting blocked. It's
Oh
like,
man.
as an English speaker, it's like, how would I ever communicate with you? Not actually learning the language. This is gonna be ridiculous. You can send memes at me, blocked. Such a minute thing, dude. It's funny though, because it's like people of course try to get blocked, and they're like, yeah, I got blocked by comedy. It's not really a
It's
big
like a badge
achievement. He
of
blocks like most people.
Yeah. It's really not that hard.
It truly is not like difficult at all. If you were one of the first, dude, you're a legend. Let me be real. Nah, but that's all I got though. Yeah.
Okay.
Don da Don. Give that a read. It's only 3 chapters right now.
Yeah, I'll probably do that tonight maybe.
It is wild. This is like the fever dream that you're looking for.
Okay.
The first chapter alone is enough chaos energy that you'll love it.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely read that. Yeah, I'll have to start some other stuff. So I'll just see, what's popular right now. People are reading, Try to get another hit. And
It's because Manga Dex is down for maintenance that everyone's
Yeah,
gotta
I
get
know.
a scrap somewhere else.
yeah, because they got like security breach, and now they're trying to fix everything. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, but they're doing because they're all free. They don't want like you have ads or anything like that.
Hmm.
But like, and then they only get like non-licensed manga that are like untranslated or whatever. Bring them over. If anything gets licensed, they rip it off the site, or like they stop like translations, and they keep the ones that were up. And if they're asked to take anything down, they do. They're pretty compliant, honestly.
Sure.
Which
For
is
the
why, like,
people.
in other words, like the manga like drama, I was like, you guys are just dumb. I was like, you guys just want your ad money on your own websites.
Yeah,
So just
that is
funny.
true.
Like, instead of just having like, maybe if you're nice, people would actually have recordings. Like, maybe we should donate to these guys, tip them a bit. Have a Patreon where people can support you instead of just talking trash about a place where you share your manga and being like, they're not coming to our website, we're not getting the views.
It's like how no one donates to Wikipedia.
Yo, I tell you, I'm down to donate to Wikipedia.
Every time they have that banner, I'm just like, I should donate. I use Wikipedia a lot.
Yeah, like even though it's like quick, it's like maybe they are worth about like $5.
Yeah, just like $5.
For the year, and they say if everyone donates like $1, we'll be set for like 1,000 years, and it's like
Yeah, I mean, it was even something as simple as like, if everyone who is on Wikipedia right now, not just like everyone, just everyone who is currently on our website donated $1, we'd be good.
for like not just like this year, but for like many years.
Yeah, for like dozens of years or something like that. It was crazy.
It's like, dude, like it kind of makes me want to drop a 5 on them. You know? It's like I use Wikipedia quite often. I don't want their website to go down.
Yeah.
Slap this. There you go. That's like a month's rent.
But unfortunately, so far, I just read that and I'm like, and you know, I just have like pain in my heart as I scroll past the banner. Just like I should donate, but I don't. You know,
it's the price of a cup of coffee, and you're like, damn, I don't even buy coffee in the morning.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say the same thing. I was like, oof, too bad I don't drink coffee. and that's how you justify it in your head. It's like, well,
coffee
I don't buy
drinkers,
coffee.
where
Why
you
buy
at?
this?
Donate to Wikipedia.
Yeah. Alright, well, yeah, so make sure to watch all that stuff. Probably read more manga. I'm sure something crazy will happen in the week. Or not, I don't know.
Every day's a crazy day if you think hard enough.
Yeah. Do you remember? Never mind, we can't talk about it. Yeah, so until next time, man, I will see you later, Ray. See everyone else. Well, I won't see anyone else, but, you know.
Yeah, you just see my beautiful face. I'll send you a message later when I get that, like, person from the high school to come over. I'm telling you, dude. It's a bit, guys. It's a bit. It's not real.
It's too bad, Ray.
I would never. I live with my parents. It's kind of weird.
I already ended the episode before you said it's a bit, so, like, they didn't even hear you say that.
You see, like, I live with my parents. It's pretty weird to just bring someone over and be like, hey, yo.
You just, like, finger guns, and you just, like, slowly back into your room.
It's like, yo, that's bold. Imagine like Rayman not leaving the house for like months on COVID, just bring like some random girl home and be like, yeah, you know, like this person's homeless, just like bring them in there. Parents be like, what's wrong with you?
She's homeless.
It's like she's homeless. You mean she has like rabies or something? Just get her out. You get her tested. Like a doctor.